Hey everyone, how's it going tonight? My name's Spencer, and welcome to Best Ball Draft Addicts. Tonight, I'm very excited because for the first time, I'm going to be talking about football and jumping into the football season. Up till now, we've been drafting baseball teams together, live streaming since January. And now, baseball time is here, and we are ready to switch over to football. Before we get started, I want to kind of talk about a few things and the schedule moving forward. So, what we're going to be doing for football, we're really not going to kick off big time into football until after the NFL draft. But we're still going to do 2 shows a week, where as we go through, and if you see the thumbnail of this title, we're going to be going through rounds 1 and 2. My guest tonight is Cory Lee, who you've seen with me many times already. And Cory's going to be on talking a lot of football with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through each round, talk about our thoughts on the players in each round. And then we're going to jump into draft and we're going to apply what we've just talked about, see how the board looks, kind of get used to things and how they're going to go this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. This series will take us up till the NFL draft. After the NFL draft, we'll probably do a recap video of all the things that happen there. Every video that we do, we're going to also do a draft. And then after that, Underdog's going to kick off the actual football season, which again is going to start a few days after the NFL draft. And then we're ready to go. We're going to know most of the moves by that point, and I'm really excited. That's typically whenever I jump into football. Normally, I take this first month off of drafting once I've been drafting baseball for so many months and then lead into football after the NFL draft. But without further ado, we're not going to wait too much longer. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started, and I'm going to bring in Mr. Cory Lee. What's going on, buddy? How are you doing tonight?
What's going on?
Oh, doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you and delve into football.
Yeah, so Cory, finally this baseball stuff. No, love baseball.
You love baseball, but your true love is football. And just like I love football, but my true love is baseball. This is why we work so well together. Every year when we come to this time, although again, normally it's about a month from now, but every year once I get into football drafting, I'm always talking with you, getting your thoughts on teams, movement, players. And that's what we're going to do here together on the video for everyone. So we're not going to be doing any sort of big statistical in-depth analysis. There's a million podcasts out there, so many good ones that you guys can follow, and I'm sure you do already. We're a couple of guys who are going to be drafting teams. We're just giving our thoughts on players. I've made some real simple graphics for us to go through as we're looking at players and talking about them. And that's pretty much it. That's the goal. So, Cor, let me ask you, in football, how many years have you been playing on Underdog?
I believe the first year was 2021. You and I used to do the best ball 10, the BB10s and those kind of things. Like they're a little slower, and we always had to wait for them to fill. And I remember seeing like a random Underdog commercial on call it ESPN or whatever, and being like, wonder what this thing's all about. And I want to say I actually did Underdog before you did, because I think I said, hey, have you seen this yet? And you checked it out, but like you were so invested on the BB10s and everything that you kept going on that. And I did Underdog for a little bit, not to the level that we've done since then, but I was like, man, this is just a lot easier for me, so I can just knock them out real quick, because with the timer and everything, so, or with the fast timer and all that. So, and then it caught on. But yeah, 2021.
Yep, and that's whenever I started too. Yeah, I do remember that. You did talk to me about Underdog first. And yeah, you're right. I was already drafting so much over on BB10 and FFC and the other platforms that it just wasn't on. But once I jumped in, I jumped in big time. 2022 for me was insane. I did hundreds of drafts, almost 1,000. 2023, I cut it back, but I'm still like a 500 draft or more a year guy. And which is not, it's a decent amount. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm probably like right around, like, last year was the most that I've done. I was always like, it was fun. So 2023 was the first year I did like 50, 60, something like that. And then 2024, for whatever reason, if you remember, I just took the summer off. I don't know. I think I just needed a breather or whatever. And then last year I was around 100 or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was the most you'd done. It was the most that I drafted with you last year. We're going to break that record this year. We're going to be drafting more this year than we have. That's for sure.
I know. Like, if Maddie, that's my wife, if you're listening to this, look away.
So as far as you talked about the timer. So on Underdog, one thing that they've done with football that's even different than baseball, they introduced last year a 20-second timer, and I think 20 seconds has become the standard. So when we're drafting football, it's going to go fast and furious. So
yeah, it'll be a lot different than the baseball ones.
A lot. Well, Bud, are you ready to dig into these players and start talking about them?
Never thought you'd ask. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So let me. I made this slide here.
Can I real quick? I want to preface this. So for the people that haven't been here yet, or for anybody that hasn't, see, I am there. I have a slight bias to a particular NFL team that's going to come out. That tends to come out here and there. I'll let you be the ones who figure that out, though. I won't say who it is.
You know what? It probably won't happen in today's video, because here's the players we're going to be looking at today.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not sure. It's going to come out.
I was going to say.
Yeah, he's there. There's a team. There's a player there. Yeah.
I was about, if he wasn't, I was going to get it. I'm out of here. I'm out. Okay.
So, Cory's favorite team is the Chiefs. Spoiler
people
alert.
Are going to guess.
Spoiler alert.
What the heck? People are going to guess.
So as we go through here, so in the first round, you can see the players we're going to be talking about, and then the second round, we're going to be breaking down these 24 players. On this slide here, I have the positions of the first two rounds. So there are no quarterbacks taken. There's 13 running backs, so more running backs than wide receivers taken in the first two rounds, which seems different than in the past based off of my memory. I don't know. It seems like it was maybe a split the opposite way the last few years. And then 2 tight ends are taken in the second round. You see where I have potential stacks there, Core. So in the first 2 rounds, these are the players that stacking is a big thing. As I'm sure you guys all know on Underdog, but especially in football, it'll be a big part of how we draft and how most everyone drafts. It's not essential, but it's much more important in football than it is in baseball. Mm-hmm. And the potential stack partners you get in the first 2 rounds, you can go with Gibbs or Amon-Ra, but they both go in round 1. You're probably never going to have Gibbs and Amon-Ra paired together. So it's one or the other there, but I wanted to at least point that out.
Yeah, like it would be, you'd have to be in a crazy room. I mean, when you end up doing hundreds of these things, sometimes weird things happen. But yeah, the Gibbs Amon-Ra, that's a rare one. That's a white whale kind of thing. Like if you get that, you're in a great spot. Sorry.
Absolutely. These you actually could get done, so it's possible. Bijan in London. So if you'd have to get a London fall, but at least that one's possible. Jahmyr Chase and Chase Brown. That one is actually lines up right on with ADP. So based off their ADP, they are the natural pair partners. Then you could go with Lamb Pickens. Now they are both 2 guys that not necessarily something that I would want to do, but you could make it happen. You see where they go. Pickens at the end of round 2. So if you have Lamb and you want to, you would have that choice most of the time. And then the one that intrigues me as one to do at the turn is Jeanty and Bowers.
You'll find out why soon. You'll all find out why soon.
Spence taking tight ends. So.
Real quick, did we want to get the chat up or no?
I have. Well, I'm looking at it here. So
sure. Okay. Yeah. I was just making sure.
Yep. No problem. If anyone says anything, I'll throw it up on the screen. All right, so now let's delve into it. First player is Bijan Robinson. So these slides that I've got here, basically what I'm going to do is kind of just give some general overview. These are some just basic thoughts on the guys, and then Cory, I want to hear what you have to say. So with Bijan, I have him as a true workhorse running back. So he's the one. He's the 1-1, the RB1 most of the time. He definitely has league winner upside, an elite red zone role. He's a lock for 20 plus touches a game, and he gets great pass game usage. The risk on him, well, the Falcons, they do have some offensive volatility, so they are not the best offense in the world. He doesn't have, I wouldn't say, with his quarterbacks, I would not say that he has the best quarterbacks. So quarterback could limit ceiling. And then the team could also limit his potential touchdowns just from not being in the red zone as much. Now, why draft him? He's a true bell cow. He has league winner upside, elite floor plus ceiling. So the final verdict is you want to draft him. He offers an elite opportunity plus target share. He's 24-year-old beast. And if you watched him at the end of the season, anytime he touched the ball, he stood out and popped. He was, and especially receptions, my gosh, he just takes off like shooting out of a gun. So I love taking Bijan. I do not think Bijan is for sure 1-1 because when we get to the next guy, I could probably swap them a lot. It's not necessarily a Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge thing where I would go Ohtani 100% of the time. Sometimes I would switch it up to Gibbs. But before we move on to Gibbs, Cory, let me throw it to you and see what your thoughts are on Bijan.
Sure. He's good. He's really good. He's really good at football. I mean, the Bijan Gibbs debate is going to happen all summer. That's going to be one of the hotter debates. It's not a slam dunk because if I remember correctly, actually Bijan's never finished as the RB1 overall yet, like that Gibbs has. So Bijan I like how you mentioned the elite floor because that is what Bijan gives you. He's never been in an elite offense per se. I don't look at that. It's always been a pretty good offense, and Atlanta up until last year usually had a pretty bad defense. I know they put a lot of assets and spent a lot of money on defense. So it got a little better last year. Bijan doesn't have the ceiling maybe that maybe from a touchdown standpoint he does, but for Gibbs though, I don't know, like he just doesn't have quite the ceiling, but definitely a better floor, especially anybody, like a lot of us kind of have short-term memories. And if you remember in the fantasy playoffs last year, Bijan was incredible, particularly on that Monday night game against the Rams, and Gibbs just laid 3 consecutive eggs in the playoffs. So, but yes, definitely. I mean, you're never going to lose because you drafted Bijan 101. If you lose, it's going to be something else. But the Tua thing, actually, I think is a good thing. Michael Penix is not great, and it's starting to show. But Tua has supported RB1 back-to-back seasons with Devon Achane, and a lot of that is based on pass volume. So it's a new coaching regime, a new era. It's Kevin Stefanski, who had 2-time coach of the year. And, he made chicken salad out of chicken, what, in Cleveland multiple times. So it's a boost on multiple fronts for him. So actually, I think it's a good thing where he's at. And I think the Tua thing is a good thing personally. That it could help with the volatility, or it could, because again, Tua's never been shy to dump the ball off. So that is a good thing. There's what more can you say? Really?
Yeah.
You don't have to go too in depth on it, but why?
I think the big thing you brought up that is important is Tua supporting Devon Achane through the pass volume, because even if they do not have a good passing offense, which I still think, London and Pitt, they should still be fine. But even if they don't, because of to his lack of skills or Penix's lack of skills, I do think that Bijan will at least at minimum get a good amount of passes to carry his fantasy production, which again is going to make him a good 1-1. So yeah, I think that's pretty much that. We can move on to the next one.
I was going to look at and see what his targets were last year real quick. I mean, shit, I had 103 targets last year.
Yeah.
Got a running back with, I mean, like 79 catches for 820 and 4. So like receiving, I mean, that right there is he's not the exact home. I mean, he's got great speed, but he's not the home run threat that Gibbs is. But he's definitely going to he will out volume most everyone. So back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons, double-digit touchdowns. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Lock it. For me personally, I am a Bijan 101 guy.
Every time?
I'll mix it up. That's
the thing. Depending on how many drafts you do.
Yeah.
So this is the way to think about it. Whenever are you going to draft this guy every single time you get a 1, or if you have so many times where you have him, do you want to mix it up because you aren't getting 2s, you're getting 1s?
If I were to say, like, I think 4 times out of 5. If I would at the 101, I'd probably take Bijan.
All right, there it is. All right, Now to Gibbs, the second pick.
There he is.
So
that's not his number.
No, it messed up with that one.
Yeah, he switched to 0 last year.
It messed up with that one. So as far as
operation are we running here?
I know. So as far as Gibbs goes. So you see elite dual threat running back, just like what we were talking about with Bijan, which was why they're both up here. He definitely has the RB1 ceiling. He already has done it, like you pointed out. Elite pass game usage, super explosive. You watch this guy again, he just shoots out of a cannon. The risk for him, so shared backfield role, but not with David Montgomery anymore. It's now Isaiah Pacheco. So that's not near as much of a threat, honestly. I would say unless they do something in the draft, we're probably looking at close to a bell cow now this year. TD volatility, maybe. Again, that's to be determined. Weekly touch variance, yeah, okay. It's hard to come up with any risk for Gibbs because he's such a good pick. Elite offensive role, like I said, game-breaking speed. Yeah, he's an absolute stud. What else do you have to say about Gibbs?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's the same thing, like ceiling wise. Yes. I think Bijan, overtook him at the end because he had that playoff run. Otherwise, Gibbs would have probably outscored him again. But he didn't get quite the target. He had like 90 plus targets, but didn't quite have the target share that, or the number of targets that Bijan did. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think all around you're gonna I prefer Bijan, but Gibbs is again, you ain't gonna if you get the first or second pick, you're in a pretty good spot.
You're in a good spot.
You're in a great spot. And then the shared backfield role was what I was going to bring up, is because Pacheco is such a different player than David Montgomery. And the thing is, David Montgomery, his strength was always that kind of in between the tackles kind of thing, where that's not what Pacheco does. Now, I mentioned I'm a Chiefs fan. I've been watching Isaiah Pacheco the last 4 years. That guy, I love Pop. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I love what he did. Great 7th round pick, Chief for life. However, that guy cannot resist running into the back of his offensive lineman. He has some of the worst running back vision you'll ever see. And I just can't, I agree with you. They have to go somewhere in the draft. I just cannot fathom how as important as the run game is in Detroit that they're going to hand the keys for the RB2 roll over just straight to Isaiah Pacheco, who's been on the downswing the last 2 years since his injury. So I don't know. I just have such little faith in him. Not even from a health standpoint. He just hasn't been the same player since he broke, I think it was his tibia. It was week 2 of 2024. And he just he didn't have the same explosion. He's not East-West guy. He's just a straightforward guy. And, he has that violent run style. And again, the lack of vision.
He sucks. He sucks. That's basically
I wouldn't say suck, but he's not as good as David Montgomery. So that is a plus for Jahmyr Gibbs if they decide to go with that route. But
yep. So nonetheless, the point is Jahmyr Gibbs, beast. Take him. I would take him at the 1, maybe the 2. Either way, for you're pretty much lock him in at the 2 most of the time. But nonetheless,
where do you fall, Bijan Gibbs?
Well, I that's what I'm saying. I would switch it up. I'm about 50-50. So last year I took Gibbs 1, I took Bijan 1, I took Chase 1. There's a lot of people that I feel are worth the 1 pick. Especially depending on how many times you're drafting and the builds that you want to try to do. And speaking of, let's move on to another guy who I think is a 1 pick worthy. You could do this if you want to do the wide receiver build and then see what you can get with the turn. So there's a lot of ways you can play it. I think Chase is worthy of the 101. And I believe personally that he is the 1 wide receiver. Even though ADP says it, I think that that's correct. There's going to be some times where I'll have differences of opinions versus ADP. This isn't one of them. I mean, as I got here on this page, elite alpha wide receiver. So part of this here is a deep touchdown upside. That's a huge thing. Him and his connection with Joe Burrow, which of course they played together since college, as everyone knows. And the slate breaking upside, that was a big thing that I wanted to put in there because Jamar Chase can have these weeks and does every year where it's the number 1 scoring wide receiver weeks. Like he can just absolutely smash. And that's something that you just don't get from a lot of guys. You don't get the opportunity of 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and 10 plus catches like he has, which he has done.
Actually, one thing I was going to interject here. So you mentioned the connection with Burrow. One thing that makes you feel even more confident is the Bengals brought back Joe Flacco to back him up, who he had a great connection with and put up unbelievable volume with.
That's a good point. And especially considering Burrow's injury past, which has come back around just as soon as last year, right? So having a decent, competent backup who could throw to him if Burrow goes out, that's a big point. So I agree with you there. Anything else you want to call out about Chase?
If you take him at the 1-1, I'm totally fine with it. Last year, I think every 1-1 I took him because I don't know for certain, but at the 100 drafts or so that I did, I don't remember him never going 1. It's like that. It was almost like every single time. So yeah, you're not going to lose because you took Jamar Chase.
Nope. And one of the things that I did want to point out again as we're here is he does have the stack partners where if you do take him, you could get Chase Brown. And then if you wanted, you could take T. Higgins, which we're not going to be going into round 3 in the breakdown tonight, but I'm pretty positive that's where T is. And if he's not, then you could still take him to make that stack happen.
Wide receiver 14, ADP 33. So yeah.
Yep. So third round. So all right, moving on. So next up, Puka Nacua. So Puka Nacua, absolute beast of a wide receiver, elite target monster. So I put in here also yak dominance. He will go get any catch, high volume floor. Stafford coming off of an MVP season, crazy enough to say. I can't believe that I just said those words. But his MVP quarterback loves throwing the ball to him. Offense does flow through him. I mean, everything about him is great, but under the risk, he does have injuries. This is something that because he plays so hard, we have seen him get hurt in games. He does have a history of that. He does have defensive attention. But what I don't have on this page is he does have off-field issues that have reared their ugly head in this offseason. We don't have to delve into all of the stuff. There's no reason to.
Yeah, you have Google. You can find it.
But the point is with Puka is there is some reason to be concerned because of that. And so are you concerned Like, would you take Puka here as the second wide receiver off the board, or is any off-field issues enough to spook you?
I have to say, I last year when Puka fell to the second round because of the Stafford shoulder thing that didn't end up being a thing at all. I bought. And my best teams were the ones where I bought Puka, second round Puka, but top 5, 4. I mean, granted, if he's on the field with Stafford, it is wide receiver 1. I mean, even over Chase, like the elite of the elite, really, like as far as volume. The off-field stuff, it's just, I don't know. Like it's right now. I mean, there's no criminal charges against him or anything. It's a civil suit. So, it's not, there's no indications that he's going to be, it's going to be part of the player, that there's going to be any kind of investigation or anything by the NFL. But to me, it's not a big concern, but it's there. It's enough to maybe I'd take the next guy instead. And also Matthew Stafford coming off the MVP season. It's great. He was incredible, uber efficient, but he's up there in age and has a long list of, he plays through injuries because the guy's a beast. Like the guy's like a warrior, but same time is like all it takes is one. And then, so I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, so it's you're enough to be scared off a little to maybe not. So let's just say it this way. Let's say you have pick 4. Those top 3 guys are gone. Okay. Yep. So out of 10 times of having pick 4, how many times did you pick Puka versus taking someone else? We'll get to the someone else's. So not of individual, but just Puka versus someone else out of 10. What's your gut tell you?
Probably 6 out of 10. I'm taking someone else.
Oh, 6 out of 10, someone else.
So maybe even 7.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with him as a player. It's just me you know what? And with it being a large, I'm going to have a lot of these. I'll mix it up a lot, but he's not the lockdown. I got the 104. It's Puka. Like that. So, that's not for me.
So for you, the 104 might be this next player. Another guy who's pretty good at football, who broke out and became a major thing last year in fantasy, one of the best guys that you could have drafted, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. So coming off of a Super Bowl winning season, that's also crazy to say. What a weird off season. I'm going to have to wrap my brain around Matthew Stafford being
Seattle's Hard Knocks this year.
I didn't. So Seattle on Hard Knocks coming as Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. But yeah, so with Smith-Njigba, elite target monster, high volume floor, elite route runner. He definitely can be the wide receiver. If he's wide receiver 1 on any given week, that it's for sure. Offense flows through him as well. He's the clear number 1 target. Elite separation skills, like I've put on here. Mm-hmm. Any risk? Do you believe in Sam Darnold doing it again? I say, yeah, why not? Could he lose TDs? Yeah, sure. Is defense put attention on him? Yeah, but the risks are so minimal. Some of these guys, it's hard to even come up with risk. I tried to have 3 bullet points of risk.
Yeah, right.
Hard to even come up with what to put. But yeah, so that's what I've got to say about Jaxon. I love him. Last year, he was a smash pick in the 3rd round. He was 4th round. He moved up into the 3rd, and he was just the best 3rd round pick. And then now here we are.
He was the league winner last year. He was the absolute league winner last year.
And I believe in him and that this draft price is real. Do you?
Absolutely. Yeah. You remember I was a JSN guy at Ohio State whenever people were kind of down on him because he had the injuries and stuff like that. And I was begging Brett Veach to trade up in that draft for the Chiefs to take him, and no one answered the phone. But yeah, I am confident that Sam Darnold can do it again. I don't see why not. I guess it is he'll have a new offensive coordinator, but as of right now, they haven't brought in anybody that's going to really seriously compete for targets. They re-signed Rashid Shaheed, but he's like more of a special teamer / deep threat guy, stretch the field guy. So he's not any kind of like elite target. Like, I don't even know if he'll push for 100 targets. Probably not. I'd be shocked if he had over 100 targets. But yeah, it's elite volume, elite skills, and touchdowns. I don't really mind it. I don't chase touchdowns. It's kind of like pitchers with wins. Mm-hmm. We don't chase wins. So yeah, I mean, it's set it, forget it.
Yep.
Easy.
Move on.
Yep.
And you would take him to me. I'll just tell you my personal thoughts real quick on him versus Puka. I'm probably about half 50-50, right? On what I would do. I would mix it up, but that isn't even really because of the off-field issues with Puka. For me, it's more of the issue with Puka of the fact of why I'm always hesitant to not take him more. It's because of how his play style is. He plays so hard, diving for balls that it invites injuries to happen. Which is
and he's had them.
And he's had them. So this is my reasoning there, but I love JSN. So I think we're all going to.
This could easily change over the summer, but if you're someone that believes in contract years, JSN just got the bag, highest paid NFL receiver ever, but Puka still hasn't been extended. And that's why these off-field things that are coming up, it's really poor timing for him.
Bad timing.
But if he does go into the year next year, then I mean, they're like that actually would motivate me to pick him because I love a contract year.
Yeah, it's a narrative. Right. It's a narrative that has shown itself true more often than not.
Let's go on to that. I can't wait to talk about this one.
All right, this one, your favorite running back in football, Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. So, JT, elite workhorse. So he is the goal line dominant force for the Colts. Definitely does on any given week have RB1 overall upside. He can pop the big plays. We've seen it now from him for many seasons. The risk, limited receiving role. He does not get a lot of receptions or targets. His quarterback being Daniel Jones. So that's something that it says I put on here QB rushing impact because Jones does rush and can run the ball in. However, really more than anything, Daniel Jones proved last year that if he isn't there and he doesn't have, if JT doesn't have a competent quarterback, their offense falls apart and he doesn't have any value. Because as soon as Daniel Jones went out, the big JT week stopped. At least this is off my memory. And then he does have an injury history of his own. So, but I'm okay with taking Taylor. I will tell you though, based off of this ADP, I won't have very much of him. So far, this is the easiest fade. What say you?
Agreed. I actually just got a message about the chat. Are we checking the chat?
Yeah. I have I can see the comments. There's nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Someone just told me to check the chat. Anyway, or at least maybe display it. Anyway.
Well, see, here's the.
I know.
Here it is. You see, but there's nothing in there.
Okay. So Jonathan Taylor. Historically, I'm not a big JT guy. It is part of that the passing volume or lack thereof. I mean, and he did have those like back-to-back years with injuries, and he had the contract situation that made things murky for a little bit. But like, yeah, I've usually been the one that's just okay being wrong on Jonathan Taylor, and I feel like half the time I'm right. I was in on Jonathan Taylor his first, especially his rookie year, but like his first 2 years, I was all for it. And then it's when he started going as the 101 where I was like, I don't know about that. And yeah, it's just the lack of passing game volume. And you hit the nail on the head. As soon as Daniel Jones went down, he was useless. I mean, he ended up finishing, I think, as RB4 maybe or something like that, but he was also having an MVP season in the first half. So I agree with you. It's an easy fade for me. If we're talking back end of the first, if he was at like 11 or 12, I might click his name. But in this spot, there are a couple other players I'd rather have.
Yeah, if the ADP dips. Yep, I agree. All right, next player. This is one that I personally am never afraid to draft, even though it's burned me on years. He's also paid off for me plenty. And I would take him, I want to say 10 times out of 10 over JT. And that's Mr. Christian McCaffery. 49ers running back, absolute Hall of Fame level fantasy guy, elite dual threat. So he has an elite target share on a great offense. He dominates in the red zone. Any given week, he's the RB1, and he can be a slate breaker where he's a DFS god where you can just pick him and he can, everyone knows this about him. Why draft him? Well, why not draft him? The risk, obviously, he's getting old. This is going to be his age 30 season, which for most running backs is looked at as a death sentence. However, not for everyone. And I don't think that McCaffery is one of these guys that we can just completely write off that he hits 30. We'll cross another one of those here in next round, I believe next round with Derrick Henry. And obviously McCaffrey's injury history is well documented. So everyone knows about the injuries that he's had. He seems to like to scare people all the time. The last 2 seasons, he's gave everyone a right before week 1 scare. 2 years ago, it was legit. Last year, not so much. But
my favorite comment was on Sleeper, where it was whenever it was this past one where it came up, popped up that he had something. He was sitting and someone was like, "I just fell to my knees in the middle of Walmart."
Yeah, everyone has felt that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so are you a McCaffery guy? Is he someone that you'll look at, or are you like, you know what? I mostly won't look to take him and take someone else in the first.
The thing, it's for me, this is last year's Saquon, where he's coming off an RB1 season. It's and just an incredible year for a guy who was, and this thing, last year he was discounted. Like Saquon the year before is, his big year's offensive player of the year was going in the second round. So it was a great value, but this is where he was being drafted last year, McCaffrey, and he ended up being pretty much a league winner. I mean, the RB1, but it's just, for me, I'm probably fading only because guys he had 400 plus touches last year. Players with 400 plus touches historically have never repeated the next year. Saquon Barkley, people started fading him as he was going probably around this spot, because at the season that he had in 2024, he should have been going top 3, if not 1 overall, but it was that workload. And look what happened. I mean, the Eagles were kind of a mess anyway, but it was the workload. It's that 400 plus touches for a guy his age. It's going to be a fade for me, but everybody has a price. Let me just preface that. Whenever I say fade, that doesn't mean, or if I say I don't like a player, that doesn't mean that I won't draft him. It's just everybody has a price. And for me, McCaffery at 7, I'm probably going elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it is. And I think he's actually worthy of the 101. If I saw him go 101, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Would I do it? Let's say I was in a 20 max tournament, right? Like one of the $4 20 max entry tournaments. And I had done that, and I had done 18 drafts. And then I pulled pick 1, and I already had in this tournament pool, I already had a Chase, I already had Gibbs, I already had Bijan. If I already had shares of them and I didn't have any McCaffery, I'd move him up to 1-1 just to have a share of him and build a team in a tournament style like that. But overall, in something like a puppy where you're going to do, 100 to 150 entries, I agree. I would personally look at him this year as someone who I would probably have, I don't know, I would say maybe I would take him, 10% of the time, that he's up, and that's probably what I'm looking at with McCaffery. Is not someone that I'm going to go after, but I'm not going to be afraid of. I'm just going to look elsewhere a lot. And part of the guys to look elsewhere as we move on here, this is a very interesting one, CeeDee Lamb this year. So CeeDee Lamb is always a monster that you've loved since he was in college. He's everyone who's a Cowboys fan adores CeeDee Lamb. Other than maybe a few people after a few of his drops last year, but
Yeah, though.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
brutal.
it wasn't great at the end of the year. But CeeDee Lamb traditionally, I mean, he's an elite target maker. He is a yards after the catch god. Any given week, he can be the wide receiver one, and he does have a high floor because of his elite target share. He is the alpha in that offense, and he is an alpha wide receiver. There's no doubt about that. Risk, yeah. So he does get a lot of attention from the defense. They normally have their best cornerback on him. He has shown some inconsistency weekly, especially with the Cowboys. That's a Cowboys thing, I think, more than anything.
Yeah,
And then
really. Outside of what was it, 2023 was his wide receiver one season, I think.
I mean, that sounds right.
Yeah.
And then target competition last year, of course, they added George Pickens. So adding George Pickens was, some people looked at it as a negative. I looked at it as a positive. And I thought that the extra defensive attentions to Pickens would be good for Lamb. And ultimately, I would say that that was proven right because both Lamb and Pickens did really well together. I like them both. I'm happy with taking them both, and I still am again. But I don't feel like CeeDee Lamb jumps out to me as someone that I definitely want in the first round. What say you? Is he someone that jumps out to you like, oh, I want him? Or do you kind of have this feeling with me of like, he's still a great pick, but he's not necessarily desirable?
As you mentioned, I've always been a huge CeeDee Lamb guy. Back in 2020 in his draft class when people were taking Jerry Jeudy over him, I thought that was insane. And Henry Ruggs was drafted before him, which was unbelievable. But yeah, he did. Now, if you remember, he did have the injury last year that cost him, I think, 3 games. But usually he's a pretty safe bet for 15 plus games. But the targets, he had 117 targets, pretty large dip, but granted, missed time. The touchdowns were way down last year because George Pickens is more of a red zone threat. I still think he's probably not. I don't think he has wide receiver one upside right now. And
not
that's
for the season,
right? For the season,
right. But on a given week, sure. But
yeah. And one thing I want to bring, the one thing I want to discuss on him is, and this will apply to a certain player that we're talking about later, but are you familiar with Dak Prescott and the every other year thing?
The every other year, the Aaron Nola theory of Dak Prescott.
Yeah. So Dak Prescott, whether it's right or wrong, there's not analytics or data to back it up, but like it literally every other year, Dak Prescott is, this is since 2018 or 2017, which was his second year in the league. Here are his quarterback finishes: 10, 14, 2, 32, 8, 18, 3, 31, 6.
So you're saying this is going to be a bad year?
Literally every other year. So if you're a subscriber to that, then it might be. So last year, if you remember, I was drafting Cowboys like it was going out of style. Because I knew the defense.
Fergie, you were all about Jake Ferguson.
I had so much Jake Ferguson. George Pickens was my number 3 exposure on receiver. I just drafted the crap out of George Pickens, and my number 2 running back was Javonte Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I was big on it because I knew the defense was not good, and that it was every other year Dak. The offense would be elite if Dak's healthy, and that defense stunk like I thought it would. And then when they traded Micah Parsons, I was like, this is even better. So it's going to be hard for me personally to not click CeeDee Lamb. And just heads up, I'm a CeeDee Lamb guy, So, but everything you brought up as far as like the reservations is legit. I totally understand clicking on another name here.
Yeah, but he's a beast. And the next name, this is the main reason why, because I love this guy, and personally, I love him more than CeeDee. I have taken him over CeeDee most of the last 2 seasons. Last year for sure. Not 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if I remember, CeeDee was like wide receiver 1 or 2 in the drafts, pick number 1 or 2 with Jefferson. But last year, I love Amon-Ra. I will always draft Amon-Ra. Ever since he first came up, I got him in a dynasty league, watched some YouTube videos of him, and then I fell in love. And ever since then, this is my guy. So elite target volume wide receiver, high-end reception floor every single week, big-time red zone usage. So consistent. Also, you can for setting a lineup, not best ball, but actually like drafting and setting a lineup. He's an amazing wide receiver to put because even his bad games tend to be double digits. So very high floor plus ceiling. I don't have a lot of negatives either. It was real hard for me to think of a negative. He's had a couple little injuries here and there, but nothing really bad. Jared Goff, I think Jared Goff is good. So to me, it's still a good offense. Really, like we talked about earlier, Montgomery being gone. So as it sits, Gibbs is really the only running back to eat some share. That I just think that Amon-Ra is a locked and loaded smash first round pick who you could draft, not think twice of, and feel great. Your thought?
Yeah. No, I just forgot for a second who they hired as their new offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing. Yeah, I mean, it's probably he has either him or JSN is the most elite floor for a receiver. I think that there is. And I mean, like his targets, man, it's just off the charts every single year. I mean, it's set it and forget it. You know, like he's just so consistent. And so that's why, yes, I would take him over CeeDee Lamb personally. And honestly, we'll see how things go. I could be talked into over Puka.
I could too.
That, but I could be talked into it. Yeah. I mean, it's just, literally is set it, forget it. Amon-Ra. Like he's great.
Last year, Amon-Ra and Puka were going right next to each other around pick 7, 8, 9. And I literally multiple times, I literally had this conversation with you and Duggar where I was like, I'm just going to take Amon-Ra over Puka. You know?
And last year, Nabers was going ahead of Amon-Ra a lot because it was the sexy pick. He's the young, flashy, hotness. And Amon-Ra, Amon-Ra is so good, kind of boring. But but in a good way. It's not, he's not a sexy pick. Like I believe that the next guy could be, but yes, there's one more can you say? Set it, forget it.
Set it, forget it. Amon-Ra, lock and load. Next guy. This is a very interesting one to me. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. So elite talent, alpha wide receiver. This guy is going to go in the Hall of Fame. I think we can pretty much almost say that's about a given based off the first, 6 or 7 year start to his career.
6 years.
Yeah.
This was his 6th year. 1,000 yards every year.
Every year. Elite target share, proven elite talent, high yardage floor. Like you said, 1,000 yards, lock it up. Offense flows through him. He's just everything you want from a wide receiver. Risks, QB uncertainty. Now, Minnesota just made a move at quarterback. That move was?
Kyler
Murray. Now, we aren't going to talk about Kyler much tonight. We'll get to him eventually. He's not around 2. It might be a few shows before we get to Kyler. I'm not a Kyler guy. I don't like Kyler at all.
Sure.
I thought, and I know you did too, that last year at this time, we both thought that J.J. McCarthy could provide fantasy goodness because of the Kevin McConnell offense system, how good Darnold had done. We almost thought that it was like QB proof in a way, whereas like you just insert someone in and they're going to do well. That proved not to be the case with JJ.
No, 9.
And so this year they made a move. They went and got Kyler. Kyler, it was time to go from Arizona. He overstayed his welcome.
Yeah.
He's going to be an upgrade. I'm sure he's going to look at Jefferson.
It's a low bar.
It's a low bar. I'm sure he's going to look at
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Max Rosmer or whatever his name was, who was Nathan Peterman level bad.
Yeah. So So anyway, I think Jefferson is a fascinating pick this year. He was. So me and you, we've done one draft so far. It was on Super Bowl Sunday. And at that point, Jefferson was going in the middle of the second round. Since the Kyler news, obviously his ADP has risen him up. So he is now in the first round as wide receiver 6 overall, which I do think that's where he belongs. He's been the 1-1 for many years that we've been drafting. Not last year, but he was so close. Last year even he was like the 5. So this is the lowest value that you've been able to get him at. There will be times that he will fall into the second round. That definitely makes me want to click his name, the discount factor. And just know when you just see Justin Jefferson's name on your team, you feel good about it. With all of that said, are you in with Justin Jefferson with Kyler, or are you like, you know what, Kyler stinks, I'm out? What do you think?
I am very much in. And I think compared to the other names, like this is definitely a tier drop, for sure. Like the end of a wide receiver 1 tier, my opinion, like at least like elite wide receiver.
Jefferson tier. Ends it.
Jefferson ends it.
Yeah.
No, like I'm a Jefferson guy. I love him. He's just so much fun. He's so good. And it pained me not even as a Jefferson owner, just knowing how good he was being wasted last year. Because like you said, I was so high on JJ McCarthy. It wasn't even the talent. It was just because like as a draft prospect, I was not high on him. But after seeing what Sam Darnold did and obviously Kirk Cousins before, I was like, was it Joshua Dobbs looked good with him? And like,
even Dobbs did well.
Yeah. Like I was like, it really felt QB proof. Enter JJ McCarthy. He stinks. So Kyler, what gives me more confidence, at least, is Kyler has supported, I say top like wide receiver, but Trey McBride, he supported him as a back-to-back tight end. There was a tight end 1 or tight end 2 overall season 2 years ago. The year before that, I think he was tight end 3 or 4. So that was elite target share. To my knowledge, this is without digging into the numbers. I don't think Kyler spreads the ball around a ton. He's kind of got his guy. Like DeAndre Hopkins for years was the guy. And then he, had the injury. But when he came back, it was to much of our chagrin. He didn't throw to Marv. He threw to Trey McBride like crazy. So he can support an elite option. And he's done it. He has a lot to choose from. There's going to be certain players like your Hawkinsons and your Addison that I don't think he can support all 3, but he's going to be able to support at least one, and it should be Justin Jefferson. So I'm fine with this. I'm fine with drafting him there. I could even be talked ahead of CeeDee Lamb potentially.
Or Puka, for that matter, for you. I mean, from what you were talking about, maybe not Puka, just maybe CeeDee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's our line. There's our line.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
I'm gonna throw out a quick shout out to Andrew Wilson. Skull. That's for him.
There you go. All right. Okay. Next up, big riser from last year, Mr. James Cook, Dalvin's little brother. Explosive, efficient running back, definitely touchdown upside in elite offense. There's no doubt about that. He has big playability, elite yards per carry. Why draft him? Well, I mean, Cory may not like him, but the Bills are one of the best teams. They have been. He is explosive.
I cannot wait until Josh Allen. Like, it's not tonight, but we might need to do a whole thing on that and turn the chat on and let me cook.
The chat's on. I don't know if StreamYard, if people are leaving.
I don't know. I've been told by a source that he hasn't been allowed or can't find. He's like, I don't know if I'm dumb, but I can't find where to comment or chat. So,
well, then he might be dumb, because if he's watching the video, you just click on the comment thing on your phone. I don't know. And then that should pop up on here for me, but who knows? Maybe it's not working right. Okay. Back to this. So with James Cook last year, like I said, he was a big time riser. He was nowhere near this high last year. Do you remember what James Cook ADP was last year?
He was going probably like what, early to mid round 3.
I was going to say, I'm almost positive that he was round 3. This is based off of my memory of last year.
Yeah.
And he had an awesome season. So is there really any reason to not take him? Well, I feel that that's about the best that we saw. And a good reason for me to not take him, it's the weekly variant. So, and under the risk weekly usage variance, that's the way I see it, is that, Josh Allen, because he's so good at getting touchdowns, that's something that he can take away from James Cook. And Cook doesn't catch a bunch of passes. I think he can, but that's not a big part of his game, is catching passes. And it's not a big part of Josh Allen's game, is dumping off to running backs either. So that limits him some. And at least for me, it's enough to probably fade him most of the time at the end of the first round. Although I'll say I probably will want a few teams with him, but not that many. So he's a pretty easy fade here at RB5 for me. I feel like we're drafting him at his peak value. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely like, I hate to say he doesn't have RB1 upside, but he probably doesn't. The issue with him going into this last year, every analyst under the sun was their hot take was fading James Cook because he doesn't have, because of what touchdowns and volume and all that. And because obviously you got the Josh Allen, like I just said, vulture. Yeah. So for me, I think he's mid to back end RB1. I think that's a fine pick. There's maybe a name or two I might take ahead of him, but I think like probably if he's sitting there to start round 2, I'm fine. Like, in the 13, 14, 15 range or something, I'm clicking the name. But yeah, like right here is, I mean, I don't know. There's a few names I'd just rather have.
Yep, I agree. So both of us are sort of move on from James Cook. Well, this brings us to the end of the first round. And a running back, one Mr. Ashton Jeanty, elite dual threat. Yes.
When you're on your phone, where do you go to comment again, or to chat?
When you're watching,
I just pulled up the street. I just want to see if the chat's working. This is so unprofessional.
Oh, look. No, you're right. For whatever reason, the chat thing is not here. Yeah, I don't know why. I did the video like normal, like I always do, where the chat thing has always worked. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's sure enough, it's not there. So whoever that is that you're talking to, you are not dumb. It's just the chat. I don't know why the chat's not showing up on YouTube for this.
It's video. My mom. I told my mom to get on here and just shower me with it. It's like she's getting on her burner, and But okay, that's why I was just wondering. I thought it was just kind of odd that there wouldn't be anybody chiming in with any feedback or anything. But
yeah, well, hopefully it's back. This is the first video that we've done where the comments haven't worked. They've worked every time up to now. So anyway, all right, Ashton Jeanty.
Yep, Ashton Jeanty.
All right.
Okay.
Age 22, coming off of his rookie season. He had a very solid rookie year, not exactly great. I was pretty impressed by him as the year went on. He's not someone that I will look at taking a lot, but like I mentioned earlier, I love Brock Bowers and I do team stacking. So most of my Ashton Jeanty shares will come whenever I have pick 12 and I want to stack him with Bowers. Mm-hmm. Maybe every once in a while I'll pick him other than that, but most of the time I could see myself passing on him. What do you think? What's your thoughts on Jeanty in general?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, he will. He's the only show in town. Workhorse running back. They were just such a disaster last year that I just really don't put it on him. I mean, rookie year on a God-forsaken team. They're going to get Mendoza, so they'll have a rookie quarterback to deal with there. But Clint Kubiak, a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator in Seattle, is the head coach now. He had a lot of success offensively in Houston with CJ Stroud, won Rookie of the Year under him, and Joe Mixon was really good in his system. And the running game in Seattle was surprisingly actually not great behind him. That was one of the things that Walker and Charbonnet stands were really excited for. So whether that's a them thing or a him thing, we'll find out. But I was hoping that Jeanty would be a little lower as kind of like a post-hype sleeper-ish kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, he's going same ADP as last year. I think it's a fine pick. I really do. Like I'm good with his. I'm actually good with this ADP. I think if he was higher than this, I would definitely. But I mean, I'm gonna click his name.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that I think is worth talking about, and that is the potential for improvement for that team. What we should see a big leap and improvement.
Spent a lot of money, and they brought in the second best center in football as a free agent, Tyler Linderbaum. And so, I mean, they spent way too much on Jalen Naylor, which is weird, but they do still have. But obviously they have Bowers there too. So yeah, I mean, they have 2 first-round picks.
And we know they're going to.
They don't need more. Never mind. They don't need more.
Nonetheless,
it was the Max Crosby trade, but they did have 2 first-round picks. But
the fake Max Crosby trade. So
yeah.
All right. Next up, we enter round 2. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I probably won't have a ton of Jeanty, because I don't really like starting teams running back, and from the 12 ADP would line up to go Jeanty and Achane. But personally, I am a Devin Achane drafter. I really like Devin Achane. Explosive dual threat running back, elite efficiency, explosive playmaker. His receiving role is top end. On any given week, he can break the slate. Downside, he's not in a great offense with some definite QB uncertainty. Tell me what your initial read is on Devin Achane with Malik Willis now as his quarterback.
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I'd have to look and see as far as like what Malik Willis's tendencies were to dump it off or for screens or things like that. Achane is a talent. I 100% stamp everything you just said. Like I've been an Achane guy since his rookie year. Like I remember watching him in the preseason and some of those runs. I was like, oh, this guy's got it. This is it. And last year I had a ton of shares. And so when he had that injury scare, I was terrified. Typically running quarterbacks do actually help running backs. So like, as far as like, I don't know what kind of, I don't remember. I know they have a new head. I mean, they gutted everything. They have a new coach and everything. I actually don't remember scheme wise if it's a lot of RPOs or anything like that. But if it is,
how dare you not remember the Miami Dolphins scheme?
Well, here's the thing though, too, is for them, it's literally the Fresh Prince gif, where he's looking around and there's like at the empty room and no one's there. I mean, like everyone's gone. Tyree, right. Waddle, Waller, whatever. But like literally the wide receiver one there right now is Malik Washington. So, I mean, obviously they have, I think the 11th or 12th pick, so they could definitely draft But yeah, I mean, Achane, the offense is going to be built around him. It just is all about how efficient it is.
Yeah. And that does make it scary. And you said that running quarterbacks like Malik Willis sometimes help running backs. Well, this is just my perception. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's more they help running backs rushing because they help spread the field where, from like the defense has to account for that the quarterback could run. Whereas they dump offs, right? Check downs. That's actually worse with rushing first quarterbacks. Now, I don't know that that's every case, and I don't know what Malik Willis, and we've not seen Malik Willis have a real shot to be a starter more than just little spurts here and there. Yeah. We've seen enough to know that he's decent. Obviously, the Dolphins saw enough to know that he's decent. He impressed me last year. I'll say that. What he did for the Packers last year when Jordan Love was hurt, that was very impressive. But again, how will that translate on the Dolphins? Yeah, they agree. But how will that translate on the Dolphins with no weapons other than Achane? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
They're going to have to get really creative. And it might honestly, like a lot of his passing game might not just be like, it might not be the dump offs, whereas they're just going to have to scheme it. Plain and simple. Yep. They're going to have to scheme it. And then he's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. And if they're going to run like the RPOs or something, I mean, then that's
he's going to be so involved though. That's the thing.
If he had if you picked him up and put him, let's just say that would have been on the Chiefs. I mean, we're talking probably RB, potentially like RB 3 or 4, maybe 5. Like I think he's up there in McCaffery Taylor territory. But again, it's just, and that's my opinion. But Dolphins are going to be something this year.
They'll be something.
They'll be something.
All right, and we move on. So next up, Omarion Hampton, young workhorse upside running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. So he definitely, this is also like Jeanty coming off of his rookie season. He does have 3 down upside. Who else do the Chargers have right now, Cory? Running back. Who else?
They in their room? They signed Keaton Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Which actually is,
I like.
We'll talk about it later. But that's going to be, I think,
he's
great.
Better than Gus Edwards, but
great. Gus, I don't think Gus Bus was. It was, but they still have Kamani Vidal.
Okay, there it is. That's I knew there was one that I couldn't remember. And Kamani Vidal was pretty decent.
He was pretty solid. He was pretty solid. Yeah.
I was by him in his little bit of time, but I liked what I saw at Hampton. It wasn't much, and he really didn't do. And this is again, right now. We are learning. I haven't even gone back and reviewed last year's end of season stats yet. Just throwing this together, talk about our thoughts and draft, and we'll dig into things more. But off the top of my mind, I don't think he had any big games until the second half of the year. I think he started off really slow, and then it was because then he was hurt. No, that's what it was. He was hurt.
He actually did. He actually did have at least one big game before he got hurt because Najee got hurt. So Najee Harris was there last year,
but then
and he
Hampton
had the Achilles.
Was out for a while. Either way, though, coming into this year, what do you think about him? Are you someone that I'll tell you this? My thoughts are I probably won't click his name that often because there's a lot more names here in the second round that I feel a lot more confident with. But because I'm going to get deep into drafting and see low Hampton shares, it's going to make me be like, I need to click his name more because that's how these things work. But I initially will probably not take him often. Is that wrong? Should I?
I would. I will. And this is going to be one of the more polarizing names, I think. So he's his 13.7 right now, RBA. He will be a first round pick by August, but maybe even earlier than that, in my opinion. Like once we get past the NFL draft and everything, there's multiple. Just real quick to amend what week 3 and 4, he had monster weeks. He had so he had let's see, he had like 130 yards from scrimmage and and a touchdown in week 3, and then week 4 he had 128 rushing and a touchdown, and then 5 catches for 37. So he was in the midst of. He was in the midst of elite. He was going to be elite, and then that's when he got hurt. So, with that said, do you remember who his offensive coordinator is now?
Nope.
Mike
McDaniel. It just hit me. As soon as I said nope, I remember Dolphins. Mike. Yeah.
So everything we just said about Devon Achane, it's Omarion Hampton now.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah. You just right there. That's enough to tell me. All right, I got to look at him. Maybe more than Jeanty, maybe just as much. He should be in the mix with Jeanty and Achane.
The difference last year, Greg Roman was, Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator and heavy emphasis on the run game. He had, which typically the Greg Roman offense. So that's why people were excited about Hampton, that in his college tape. But now. It's Mike McDaniel is bringing over the Shanahan run game, which historically has gotten a lot of coaches' jobs. And so he's the Shanahan system, in addition to just how creative he is as a play caller. As of right now, the receiving room we're talking Ladd McConkey, Trey Harris, And this is pre-draft, obviously. And then Aronde Gadsden. And I don't think they haven't brought in anybody else. Like
No
Allen's a
Keenan
free
Allen
agent.
or Mike Williams.
Yeah, as of right now.
Who was the Lambert? Keandre
Oh
Lambert.
yeah, Keandre Lambert. Yeah. So he was a rookie, so now he is still there. So it remains to be seen what they do as far as like the draft or anything. But the running back, I think Keaton Mitchell is great for Hampton because he is like more of like the change of pace guy, but he's not going to vulture him or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Hampton's going to go up draft boards and also. His offensive line last year, their offensive line was just absolute Swiss cheese. It was awful. And they will be getting back Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, both on the field, is probably the best tackle tandem in the NFL.
I'm a Justin Herbert fan. All right. You've just sold me. You just sold me. I'm in on Hampton. I appreciate this. This is the point of this discussion. Yeah, this is it right here. This is it in a nutshell.
I think I just kind of sold myself.
I didn't have a heavy thought one way. I really, I was more leaning towards fade. I don't need to. He's just 23. He's a stud. Luck in Hampton. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is super interesting because, so I want to talk about this for a second. I don't watch college football at all. None whatsoever. I don't follow it at all. Cory knows this very well. I am huge into just fantasy football, but as everyone knows, how much I love baseball, and I watch baseball all the time. It dominates the majority of my viewing. So I just don't watch college, period. So with that said, when we get to this time of the year, I never know who any of these rookies are. Every single year, I don't know who anyone is. Cory is the one who he breaks down and talks to me about everyone leading up to the NFL draft. Then I watch the NFL draft. I see the guys. Then I get on, once I know what teams they're on, then I usually will get on YouTube and I'll watch videos on these guys on YouTube. And then I jump into drafts once the season starts, once the regular draft season starts. And I usually fade rookies for the first month or two. And then once I start to get a feel for how those rookies will be in their system come June, July, once they're in mini camps and everything like that, then I'll usually start drafting them. And then I usually ramp up my rookie drafting come August, end of July to August. This is just the general way that I deal with rookies every year. With that said, this year, we're talking about these guys earlier than ever. And as we go along here, breaking down these top people, I'm doing a little bit more research than I would do normally. So today, the only rookie we're looking at today is Jeremiyah Love. I looked him today on YouTube, and I whenever I look guys up, highlight videos are great, right? But I usually like to also look to find more of like the character piece videos, people talking about their family, who they kind of are as a person, which kind of gives me a better idea of who this kid is. And with Jeremiyah Love, what stood out to me is he has really great parents. Both his parents are really awesome. And he's kind of what did they say? They said he's kind of on the spectrum in the sense that he doesn't have a lot of social skills. He kind of is someone who stays to himself a lot. He's not super flashy, but you wouldn't know that on the field when you watch his highlights, because on the field, his highlight video was incredible. I mean, he looked so good. Of course, no surprise from the guy who's the top rookie running back from Notre Dame. And from this part, I didn't know, and I let the system tell me, make some points in for him. It says elite explosiveness, home run hit ability. This is for his upside. 3-down NFL upside. RB1 overall ceiling. So why draft him? His elite talent profile, high draft capital that he inevitably will have, league winning upside. The risk, always risk from rookies. You don't know what team right now. We don't know his landing spot. What can he transition well into the NFL? But initially, I probably won't draft him. I'll wait. On our early drafts that we'll do this month, I probably will stay away. But I will look at getting him once I know what team he's on, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And I was super impressed So, general thoughts on Jeremiyah Love?
I like him a lot. Yeah, I loved him in college. Like
Would you say you love him?
I love him. He's in a day and age where 3-down backs are not easy to come by. He's a 3-down back. He's as far as the between the tackles, but bouncing outside, he's great from a receiving standpoint. Ran a lot of routes, ran out of the slot. A lot at Notre Dame. He's just, like you said, the home run threat. Combine, he solidified himself as probably the best prospect, period, in this draft, depending on how you feel about Mendoza. He's not going to go first, obviously, but he is fairly consensus top 1 to 2, 3 prospect in the entire draft class. And this is a pretty weak rookie class that's coming. So it's Jeremiyah Love and everybody else. He'll be the only first-round running back drafted. I guess it's not quite April, but later this month. It just, for him, it's all landing spot. And I think outside, there maybe are a few spots that could be like if he ends up going to a team that just nobody sees coming, and he ends up being kind of like in a timeshare, I guess, is like the worst case scenario. There was a lot of buzz for Titans, but that's kind of cooled off. Giants apparently had looked at him a lot, but that also could be smoke and mirrors because people put out a lot of BS draft season. I think if he makes it past Tennessee 4, the most likely landing spot is probably Washington. And that's the most ideal, in my opinion, because pairing him with Jaden Daniels, and again, I know he had a down year, but a lot of that was health-wise, but a potential
going to the Commanders versus the Titans sounds hugely different.
It's a huge difference. Washington, they only the biggest competition to be Rachaad White. They brought him in on a 1-year deal, but it's not like the Rachaad White deal for me felt like, okay, just in case Jeremiyah Love isn't there, we can live with Rachaad White. But Rachaad White's not a every down back. He's a passing down back guy. So, but Jeremiyah Love's, he's great. I think the ADP right now is fair. I could see in the right spot, he bumps up a couple spots, but otherwise, I think this is probably about where he should go.
Here's my question. Right now, this month, until the NFL draft, do you see yourself taking him in round 2?
Late round 2, I would. Right here, I think there's a couple names I might take ahead of him, but also this could be one of those that, there isn't a name off the top of my head, but what if someone moves heaven and earth, that's in that 10 to 15 range to move into the top 10 to get him?
Before we know landing spot. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. Well, what I was getting at was and this is not going to happen, but hypothetically, what if Baltimore was they're at 14? What if they jump up into the top 10 and get Jeremiyah Love as the heir apparent? Yes, that would hurt him this year. That'd be awful. But just if there was a team of that ilk, something like that, then he could shoot up draft boards. So that's really right now where we stand. That's the only reason I'd be taking him round 2, just in case he ends up in a can't miss spot. Kansas City would have been huge. Obviously that's not happening, but I guess it could. But
it could, but that would be bad.
That would be really dumb. But but I'd be kind of here for it. But yeah.
So let's move on to the next guy, which is, again, why right now today, these next couple players are why I'm not going to click his name yet. We'll talk about him again in a month to me. This guy right here, aging explosive running back Saquon Barkley. So I think that pretty much me and you were on the same page last year, and that was there is no chance that he could repeat what he did from 2 years ago. He literally, the dream scenario of everything fell right for him 2 years ago. And last year you had to spend up to take him as a top 5 pick in order to get him. And me and you, he was one of our lowest drafted running backs, and we talked about how if he does repeat, it will hurt us. But and it proved to be true. It did not happen. We
were okay being wrong.
We were okay being wrong. We weren't wrong though. He did have a big drop off. Now that he had that drop off, he is going into his age 29 season. Some of the risk, injury history, age decline, the variance in his usage we've seen. With all this said, though, this feels like a pretty good price to me, middle of round 2 to the back end of round 2. That's just my initial gut thought. I think I'm maybe in on it. What say you?
If this ADP holds, I'm going to have so much Saquon.
Okay.
I get this, the ideal draft for me, because it would be if I'm getting let's just say a Puka or a JSN and then wrapping around and getting Barkley. I love that. Absolutely love that. Last year, the Eagles. So yes, the workload thing, I was definitely a thing, but also the Eagles offense was just an unmitigated disaster. I mean, under Kevin Petula, I believe is his name. He's gone. He's long gone, but terrible because like they've had so much churn and burn with offensive coordinators, and Kellen Moore got hired by the Saints, and it was just it didn't look right. The offensive line hadn't been playing up to their standards. AJ Brown couldn't keep his mouth shut. Like it was ugly, and they're bringing everyone. As of right now, everybody's coming back. We'll see if AJ Brown does actually get traded, but otherwise, their new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, if that name sounds familiar to anybody, fun fact, like 4 years ago, I started Sean Mannion in the fantasy playoffs because it was for the Vikings and he was the backup and Kirk Cousins got hurt. And Sean Mannion, that's whenever he was hired, I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And when I looked him up, I was like, oh my God, I started him in the fantasy playoffs, like 2021. Anyway, I'm all for it. I think like huge bounce back. This is such a great price for him. Give me all the Saquon. I really am. I'm in.
Enough said.
Yep, enough said. Let's move on.
Moving on. All right. Now we've reached a very interesting one. A guy who I love. I love Malik Nabers. I'm such a big fan of him. It crushed me, his injury last year when that happened. So Malik Nabers, elite target monster wide receiver. He's a yak playmaking god. Wide receiver 1 overall upside for sure. Definitely on a week-to-week basis. We'll see about for a season. That's where what could hold him back. Injury recovery, QB, and offensive uncertainty. Cory, who is the quarterback for Malik Nabers
going into
2026? Jaxon Dart. Is he healthy?
Is Jaxon Dart healthy? Yeah, to my knowledge.
Okay. This is a big thing, right? Like because again, I've not looked up Jaxon Dart yet. I remember he ended the year hurt. I didn't know.
Do you remember who their coach is now?
No.
Stable's out. John Harbaugh.
Oh, I don't think I heard that actually.
Oh, really?
That's actually that makes me feel good because Harbaugh, everyone knows the Harbaughs are great coaches.
If anybody can, the odds are he's the top odds, but for coach of the year, it's the easiest bet because they're going to go from like a worst to first thing. John Harbaugh, he's not a play caller, offense or defense. He is a culture guy, and Baltimore, that was for better or worse, that was always their thing. Is he's going to turn that program around. They have a top 5 pick, so they're going to add more premium talent to that roster. And Nabers, it's the injury. It's 100% the injury. The ACL surgery was repaired, but he was also, I think the LCL maybe, like it was they had to wait, or it was the meniscus maybe or something that hadn't been repaired until like December or something like that. So that'll be an interesting one to follow. But yeah, the offense is ascending. They just signed Isaiah Likely. They still have Theo Johnson, who flashed, but then also they brought in Darnell Mooney, who's a really solid number 2 option too, to kind of takes, and
he can stretch the field. Away. He's a deep threat guy.
If Malik Nabers you told me right now he plays 16 to 17 games, he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I'm going to have a hard time not clicking his name a lot here towards the end of the second round because
and he's so fun. He's just so much fun. He's so good.
And if he comes back and see him healthy in the summer, and we get to July and August, and all the word is that he's going to be out there playing and everything. I mean, we're going to see him rise up. That's
I will say too, though. Yeah, we'll talk about this later. But beat writers over the summer, tread lightly, everyone, good or bad. Like if they're gassing him up. Okay, if they say that he hasn't done this, and that, or whatever, buy the dip. I don't know. But we'll talk about camp trash.
Yeah, once we get there in a few months.
There'll be plenty of camp trash.
It'll be there before we know it. All right, next up. This one intrigues me. So I love taking elite tight ends. Last year, I took Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. And my overall 500, 600, however many teams I did, I had each of them around a 20% clip, which means I was taking about 40% of the time I had teams with one of the two. Cory, you are not so much. You are a mostly push tight end. Now, a lot of the other times I would push tight end, but I like to spend up and get one of these two studs. They're both here in round 2. I am such a big Trey McBride fan, and I was so thrilled to see Kyler gone because what Kyler held McBride back from was touchdowns. Whereas Jacoby Brissett comes in, who knew? Old Jacoby Brissett would unlock Trey McBride into a monster and give him touchdowns, but it happened. Now, Jacoby's still there. Who else did the Cardinals bring in? Gardner Minshew?
Minshew, who, if anybody remembers, was supported. He was the quarterback for Brock Bowers for the first half, at least, of his breakout of his rookie year. So Gardner Minshew is a tight end friendly quarterback.
So either way,
there's some insulation there.
They're both veterans. They're both going to lean on him. Marvin Harrison has shown he's not he's not an alpha. Marvin Harrison is not an alpha.
And the Cardinals are not going to flip-flop on, quarterbacks or pull Brissett or whatever. Like they might do a benching if it's that bad, but like the Cardinals are clearly not trying to win right now. Next year they're playing for 2027. It should be on paper as of right now, an elite quarterback class. So they're basically just trying to get through. If you go and look at who the Arizona Cardinals have brought in this year, them and the Dolphins, it's tanking in plain sight. It just is.
Yeah, but that's not going to affect the fantasy.
Oh, from a fantasy standpoint, fine by me. By me.
Yeah, exactly. And good and bad defenses help. Obviously, you get a lot of shootouts, them needing to come back. All of these things can help in with fantasy production.
If they take offensive line at 3, that's even better.
Here's a big point I wanted to bring up. I put this under the edge. So positional edge. That's where Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, you can do 2 tight end builds. I like doing 2 tight end builds. When I push tight end, I like to take 3. But I've had some of my best lineups that I've ever had on Underdog have been 2 tight end builds. So this is... Anyway, I will not be afraid to take him. I don't think you will, but I also know this. You just as a general strategy won't do it a very high % of the time. Am I right?
Yeah, I'll do it, but I just always find myself liking the players that. Now, to your point though, by fading tight end, it kind of locks me into 3 tight end builds. Unless I really want to roll the dice and get lucky, but that is the advantage that you have as drafting a high tight end is that you can either knock out 2 tight ends, either fairly early or, on the round 10-ish and then set it, forget it. But for me, I kind of lock myself into that tight end to the 3, even sometimes 4 tight end build. So there's pros and cons.
Yeah. Pros and cons. All right. Next up. We've got Mr. Drake London. So Drake London. London. So I think Drake London is a monster. I've been a fan of his since he came up and was drafted. He's done nothing to dissuade me. But the risk QB, he is we talked about this. It's Tua. It's Tua or Penix.
Yep.
Will this hold him back? Probably it will at least hold him back from being as good as he could be if he was in a better offensive system with a better quarterback. Will he still be good? Is he still worth picking? Yes, I definitely believe so. From a strategy standpoint, a lot of times it's really good to take wide receivers in round 2, of course, while you've got these studs. A lot of as everyone knows, but if you don't, in Underdog, wide receivers go like crazy. They will be gone quick, and you will be digging through bad ones by round 7 to 8, if even before that. So you want to take good wide receivers. He will be one of them, but I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm not going to target him immensely because of so far we've already pointed out several other people that I like. If I have Bijan and London Falls, I a lot of times will look to pair that. I'll tell you that. If I have a Bijan team and London's there, I'll probably go ahead and click his name because that won't happen very often, but it will happen some. So are you a Drake London guy?
I am. I have been for a long time. And I honestly, this is a similar situation to Justin Jefferson. I think Tua is an upgrade over Penix, and I think Tua is going to win the job. But I mean, granted, I don't know. Penix is coming back from the ACL, which it's like his 10th ACL. So I still think if I was a betting man, and I am, if I were betting money on it, I think Tua will win the job. They specifically brought Tua in because, one, to insulate themselves, but also because their offense was already built around a left-handed quarterback, so that's a natural fit for Tua as well. Tua has supported RB1. He's supported multiple years of wide receiver 1, and so why, like Tyreek Hill with back-to-back seasons as a top 3 or 4 or 5 wide receiver, and Devon Achane right there too. Raheem Mostert was. I mean, now granted that was part offense too.
You're doing a good job again of kind of dragging me back in and being like, all right, Tua's not that bad.
No. He's like, But do I want him leading my team that has Super Bowl aspirations? No. Am I comfortable with him leading my team from a fantasy perspective? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Next up, your boy. It's your boy. All right. Kenneth Walker III. So, you know what? Go talk.
You can take him, feel comfortable, take him as early as pick 3, and obviously love it. For me,
Super Bowl MVP, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP, Ken Walker. We now have 2 Super Bowl MVPs on the roster. So anybody that knows me knows I've always been a Ken Walker guy. I loved his he was awesome at Michigan State. I know it was the passing game thing, but from a dynasty perspective, I have a lot of shares of him in best ball. Not as actually much last year because I don't know, I just found myself drafting other guys around, but really before that I've always been a sucker in redraft or anything for Ken Walker, and now him landing that number 1 on my wish list, it actually was Breece Hall, but when the Jets decided to hold him hostage, number 1 on my list became Ken Walker, and I was so happy they brought him in. He's the home run threat that we haven't had, frankly, since Jamal Charles. And I'm so excited to see what he can bring to the offense. Now, I do know there's some volatility with him. There's a couple of different things, and we'll have all offseason to talk about it. But as far as risks, yes, he's had some injuries in the past. He's had, he's dealt with some injuries here and there, and he's just kind of underwhelmed at times. But on the same front is he's an explosive run machine. He goal line wise, he actually is pretty solid. They just always took Charbonnet out, but then once Charbonnet was out of the picture, he went on an epic run to a Super Bowl MVP in the entire playoffs. So I mean, I'm really excited about. Honestly, my biggest concern with him is Andy Reid. That's my concern, because Andy Reid, doesn't like running the ball and will never commit to running the ball. And there's going to be times where you spend your draft pick on Ken Walker and you're expecting RB1 production week by week. There's going to be times where he has like less than 5 carries for 10 yards at the half. And you're going to be like, what is happening? So just keep in mind that in an Andy Reid offense, he sometimes forgets that he has a running back or a running game. And I'm hoping that maybe the Mahomes injuries may be changing that philosophy a little bit, because they did bring back Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, who is a running back, or who is a former NFL running back, and he was the run game coordinator in Chicago under Ben Johnson last year. Also, Spencer, trivia question: do you know who the running backs coach in Kansas City was last year? I'll give you a hint.
I was going to say, not a clue.
He's never played running back in his life. Mm-hmm. He's a former NFL wide receiver for the old school Andy Reid Eagles, like the Donovan McNabb era.
Well, if it was Terrell Owens, I would have heard about that.
It was not Terrell
Owens.
Owens.
It was not Terrell Owens.
It was not Terrell Owens. It was not James Thrash.
Go ahead and tell me.
Todd Pinkston.
Oh, okay. I remember that. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, so Todd Pinkston was the running back guy, right? He is not. He is not. No, he is not.
Okay, then I'm thinking of the wrong person.
You're thinking of what is it? Cooper? Riley Cooper, probably.
Okay.
But anyway, but Todd Pinkston was the running backs coach in Kansas City last year. He's never played running back. I mean, maybe he did in high school or something, but he literally was a career NFL receiver. And for some reason, he was the running backs coach. And on the flip side, we'll talk about this at a later time because, oh gosh, actually, I just realized, I just saw an ADP that I'm in love with. But the Chiefs wide receivers coach last year was Connor Embry, who has never played receiver a day in his life. At any significant level, and he had no business to. So the Chiefs have since cleaned house very quietly from their coaching staff. Their wide receiver coach is now Chad Hall, I want to say. He was the wide receivers coach last year in Cleveland. Before that, Jacksonville, but actually, most notably, he was the wide receivers coach for the better part of the Patriots dynasty. So longtime Patriots guy. And more importantly, for Ken Walker's standpoint, the running backs coach is now DeMarco Murray.
I've heard of him.
Former NFL rushing leader, Oklahoma running back, quarterback,
Tennessee Titans legend,
running backs coach. Yeah, exactly. So he was the guy that kept Derrick Henry on the bench.
Yeah.
So anyway,
him and
so it should be a different offense. There's actual coaching now. So here's the thing. You are going to spend this pick when it falls to you. This almost every time.
That's
a me thing. That's a me thing.
So I'm going to move on, but I love that discussion around Ken Walker. I'll tell you my initial thoughts before I do move on, Cor.
Okay.
I think it's a little high. I wish that he was around 3 guy and not around 2 guy. The one draft that, again, we did on Super Bowl Sunday that morning, I drafted Ken Walker and I got him in like round 5 or 6. That was perfect. That was amazing.
Amazing.
So
that's why you do early drafts.
Yeah. And that this is, but look, he's already moved up so much since even those
ADP. It's fair. So. It's fair. But honestly, I think it's only going to climb once, Camp Trash and beat writers start getting a hold of it and saying, I honestly think his ADP is going to climb.
We've already seen a lot of running backs here in this round. Let's get a look at another one. So Derrick Henry. So good old Derrick Henry.
Draft, though, by the way, it's 10:39. So we've been on for an hour 40.
Hey, well, we are almost through the players.
Sure.
So Derrick Henry. Not a whole lot to say. We all know who Derrick Henry is, right? And I still believe that what we've seen from him, what we're going to see again. Obviously, many people are going to say, oh, this is it. When are we going to reach the cliff? Blah, blah, blah. We've been hearing this for years with Derrick Henry. I still draft him. I'm still going to draft him this year, especially whenever he dips into round 3, which I guarantee will happen. But I feel a little bit, basically, I feel a little safer taking Derrick Henry than I do Ken Walker. But Ken Walker, I definitely see as being probably the better pick. Derrick Henry, he exactly what he can do, have those unbelievable high-scoring weeks in the playoffs. This is what happened last year. It's what helped me win so much money and move on. I mean, he's just a monster. Yep. So, do you have anything else to say on him?
I mean, nail on the head there. It's like if you keep trying to predict the downfall or like the cliff, go for it. But then just draft him, and then if he ends up flaming, like if it happens, then oh well. Yep.
Here's another running back that I love, and another reason why I'm going to have a hard time taking a lot of Ken Walker, because I think I like Chase Brown more than Ken Walker and Derrick Henry, to be honest with you. This is just right now my initial thoughts based off of what I've seen. Chase Brown looked so good last year. He is the guy, right? He still is the guy. They haven't really brought in anything as far as I know. Correct?
Yeah.
Have they brought in any other running back?
I mean, not of consequence.
No, I didn't think so. But yeah, true 3-down role. He receives, he runs so well. He has a nose for the end zone. He's on a great offense. To me, he's just the perfect guy to click and take at the end of the second round. So I love Chase Brown. Anything else you want to mention on Chase Brown? And are you looking up to see if there's any competition?
Yep. As of right now, I mean, on the Bengals website depth chart, it's still Samaje Perine and Taj Brooks.
And no Travion Williams anymore?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like he got a lot of people were pissy with him, rightfully so, to start the year, Jake Browning, because the offense itself was, Jake Brown was terrible. Chase Brown was horrible. And then as soon as Joe Flacco stepped in, and then even like it clicked, but then Joe Burrow came in and he was elite. With Joe Burrow's on the field, he loves him some Chase Brown. So as long as Burrow's on the field, Chase Brown's elite.
You already
Chase, the Chase stack is.
And you already said too, Flacco's there again. So if Burrow goes out, Flacco will be in. We won't have to deal with Jake Browning again.
Yeah, still bad defense. So,
All right. So great pick. Chase Brown is a great pick. Our second tight end of round 2, who again I will take. I know much more than you. I'd be willing to take him all the way as high as the end of round 1. I'm completely fine doing that. I would take him at 12. I have no problem with it. But you don't have to. Obviously, you can get him towards the end, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just saying, I think with Brock Bowers, there is nothing to not like about him, especially if the offense gets this, like we talked about earlier, this good increase or benefit of having Mendoza as the quarterback and a new complete offensive system with new coaches. Give me all the Brock Bowers. I would draft him all the time. I'm going to have around a 20% share overall. Again, I fully believe.
I feel the same way about Bowers that you do about Walker. I think if I was getting Bowers in the 3rd round, I would probably click his name every time. Right here still makes me uneasy. It's not the talent. The talent's obviously there. Last year he dealt with a lot of injuries. He's week 1 and they had that nagging knee. Then he came back and had like the greatest tight end game ever in that 1 week. It's just, Mendoza. There's honestly rookie quarterbacks with tight ends. That doesn't worry me because usually they need the safety net is not a bad thing. So actually, I think it's elite upside still. If you told me he's tight end 1 in the season, that's easy to imagine. It's him and Trey McBride and everybody else, but it just 2nd round pick still a little rich for me. But again, I'm usually a fade tight end guy.
Yeah, you are. You just generally don't feel comfortable doing.
But if you are a tight end person, like an early tight end, Bowers and McBride, take your pick. Either way. Yep.
And then this is it. This is the last guy of the second round as we reach the 2-3 swing. And that is Mr. George R. Pickens. It's your boy, George. That was a nice Scary Movie 3 reference for you. Yes. All right, so George Pickens, absolute touchdown monster. This guy is the best at contested catches. He makes any game you watch, he's going to blow your mind.
It looks like Amari Cooper.
That picture kind of does. He is 18, right?
Is he? I thought he was 3.
Maybe the picture gave me Amari Cooper. Who knows? Nonetheless,
that looks like Amari Cooper. Yeah,
George Pickens. I love him. You already talked about how much you took him last year. What about with this increased price now as wide receiver 9 at the 2-3 swing? Is that too rich for your blood? Will you draft him again this year?
So he is number 3. That is absolutely Amari Cooper.
I'll try and do better with the images of the next one.
But anyway, no, but I love the talent, George Pickens. He should have been a Chief, but we drafted Sky Moore literally ahead of him, we had the chance. I'm not going to get into that, but Pickens is, I was so high on him because I knew it should, like Cowboys offense, I expected it to be elite, and it was. George Pickens was the benefactor of that. He was incredible, especially in the weeks that CeeDee was gone. And he's so much fun. I love it. However, I will not be clicking his name here. I'm again, Cowboys every other year Dak, where I'm going to get that hashtag going every other year Dak. But also, it's just, I'm just like that there's other names that I'd rather have. And I'm going to just be fading it. Like if he drops further into like round 3 or something, okay. I'm probably in on that, but a second round pick, I think there are safer bets.
That's where I'm at with you too. So I think that for me, and this is going to be so fun to find, we're talking about this here March 31st, Cory.
Right.
And we're going to be talking in the month of April, talking about these ADPs. These ADPs will be drastically different, even just after the NFL draft, let alone once we get to July and August. Things change so much. So I think that my drafting of Pickens will be later in the year when hopefully he falls back towards the middle to back end of the third round. Then I will also feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, buddy, that was great. I know that took us longer than what we expected. Maybe next time we look at kind of shorten it up a little bit with we'll clean it up. This is our first time, but hey, that was a lot of fun.
For those of you who are sticking with us, we appreciate it. I know we went almost 2 hours on that. That was a lot.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sorry that we can't see anything in the comments. Hopefully the comments will work next time. I don't understand why they didn't work this time. Again, I just made the stream like I have for every other one. But we are going to jump in a draft now. Cory, do you want to do a $3 little board or a $10 big board?
I kind of think given the time and where we're at, let's do a $3. Actually, how quickly do you think that big board's going to fill up? It's right now.
I would assume I've not been joining football, so how footballs are normally for us. We click the button and they fill within seconds. So let's do a little board, $3 little board. So if anyone is watching with us and wants to draft with us now, Cory, you tell me when you have it pulled up. I'm going to do a countdown. You've got it?
Ready to go.
All right. You're on the 22nd per pick?
I sure am.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, enter. 5 more.
5 more.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. So this shouldn't take that long and we'll get this going. Cory, could you kind of talk for just a few minutes, maybe? I got to run and make a quick bathroom run real fast.
Got it, buddy.
All right. Be right back.
Finally, he's gone. My God, that guy just, it's, Well, no, so I'm excited to dive into football stuff. Like as Spencer said, big football guy, but also like I'm an NFL draft nerd too. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm geeking out, especially being a Chiefs fan. This will highest. I don't love that we're picking high because the season sucked, but this is the reward for it. So I'm excited. There's a couple names that I definitely have circled on my list that I'm hoping that we maybe get. I guess it's kind of strange too that they're in the room that we're in. It still has 4 more to start. Usually, I mean, when you're in the heart of draft season, these things fill up in seconds. Like, you don't have to wait this long for it to fill it. Like, it might still be open by the time he gets back. So, but yeah, looking forward to a long football season with you guys. I mean, we're doing the first one on March 31st, and we've got through August 31st or whatever, to do these. So, we're really excited. We're looking forward to it. Man, come on, people, let's jump in this draft. Let's get this party started. Your boy's got a bedtime. It is a school night. But yeah, gosh, George, just Amari Cooper staring at us right now. It's just, it's funny. Anyway. But yeah, oh man, they see, looking at ADP right now. Let's sort there. It would be a lot easier to fill this time if I could see comments. That would help a lot because I could be able to communicate with other people. And he's back. Guys, don't tell him what I said. Okay, it's between us. He's the word. Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey.
How you doing? I was just telling the folks that are watching that we still have 4 more to start. As like in the heart of football season, these things fill up lightning fast. So
in a second.
Yeah.
Well, dang it. You want to know what I just did?
What?
I clicked on the big board to see where it was at. Guess what? Draft starts soon. I was the last person.
So you're doing 2.
So I'm doing 2. So while we wait for this to fill, I guess I'll pull up this one and you can talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Now we're at 3 more. So it's getting there. It won't take it that long.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And then, I mean, these things fly.
And these things fly. 20 seconds per pick. These drafts take no time.
Yep.
All right, I'm getting the board pulled up here. I got pick 5, Cory. I got pick 5.
I like that. I like that.
All right, let's remove this and add the board to the stage here. Let me change up our view. Okay. All right, so you keep your eye on that other one. Once I'll switch it over once we get there. But so at pick 5 here, so I'm in the Puka Smith-Njigba spot that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out if the draft gives me Puka or JSN. I bet it'll give me Puka based off the news. And this is then where I got to decide, do I want to do the pull up McCaffery thing like I talked about? Because to me, again, if I'm going to pull someone up, it wouldn't be JT. It would be either Amon-Ra or McCaffery would be the only ones who I would take over Puka. But I'm probably just going to take Puka if that's what it falls, and just go ahead and grab him with this first team.
Sure. Again, if there's anybody that's jumping in, we are doing a little board right now. There are 2 more spots. If there's anybody out there.
Board. This is a big board. I'm just, I look, I'm getting JSN, by the way.
Love it.
Love it.
Puka at 4.
You fools.
What an idiot.
So Jefferson, look at that. Jefferson at 6.
He'll probably be playing from jail. If this were the longest yard, I'd take Puka, but that's it. 1 more to start. Yeah, Jefferson at 6.
Yeah, CeeDee at 7.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just I expect him to go around, like, even with the Kyler thing, but it's just a freaking Jefferson.
I know.
Like, how do you not click his name?
I get it. 100%.
Well, because of the one draft, the draft we did on Super Bowl Sunday, Jefferson was going like mid-second round, and I told you, I was like, if his ADP stays at that, I will take him every time. I'm going to have a 30% share. Like, I'm just going to keep drafting the crap out of him.
Yep. Look at this one here. JT went after McCaffery. So
one more spot if anybody's out there and wants to draft a little board.
One more spot, little board, $3. Anyone who wants to jump in, that draft will get going. And I'm sorry that we can't see the chat. So James Cook went here at 11. So he's so far we're right in line with the ADP. Not shocking. Jeanty at 12. Hampton. So there's a Jeanty Hampton. I'm sure we'll see that turn a lot with people going with the double young.
Again, Hampton is going to probably leapfrog Cook and Jeanty by the time, like midsummer, maybe. We'll see.
I already want to take
not earlier.
I already want to take him over those two based off what you just said.
Yeah.
And I want Achane too. That's the thing is I think I may want Achane over Hampton still. Yeah. So for me, it may be Achane, Hampton, maybe then Jeanty, Barkley, and then Cook. I don't know. I feel like this is just too high for Cook.
I don't love double running back, but Hampton, Achane, kind of sexy.
It's
there we go. We're full.
We're full. Okay. So while I'll have this draft going on my iPad, and then I'll pull the other one up here.
We got 11 and 12.
Oh, did we really? We got next to each other?
Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. I'm pulling up.
I don't know if you recognize any names in there.
All right. Let me see. Okay. I'm going through and looking at the names. I'm not recognizing any from our baseball drafts. Cory, I have the chance to take Trey McBride now. So do I pair with Smith-Njigba? I'm going to pair Chase Brown. I was just talking about that. He was the last running back that fell here to that pick of mine. All of those other ones went. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then see what falls back around in round 3 wide receiver wise. Yeah. We didn't talk about our general strategies. We'll do that more as we're doing this draft. By the way, do I have the right board up on the screen? Because I'm not looking at okay. I'm not looking at StreamYard. I'm looking at the actual
right now
board.
It's burying on the field or on the clock.
Okay. All right. And I see. So our draft is kicked off. And again, starting Chuck, Bijan, Gibbs. Oh, look at that. Smith-Njigba to 3. So he led off the wide receivers in this one. Actually, Top Gun, who is Top Gun has been in with us. So
I think Chase is the clear cut number 1, but I'm not going to hate on. Smith-Njigba. Jaxon just won Offensive Player of the Year. So
yeah, same here. That's why I'm like,
I would hear. I like if there's an argument for Jaxon over Chase, I'd listen to it.
Here's my initial take argument on it. Just a better weekly floor, right? Because Chase does have some dud games.
Sure.
So whereas Smith-Njigba does,
and a lot more target competition for Chase.
A lot more target competition. Yeah. So that would be my just initial gut case right there. But okay, I'm up for round 3. Again, over on this other one, it's kind of interesting talking to you about this. I can get your thoughts as we go on here. I've got Chase Brown and Jaxon. So I could go Olave or Tet McMillan. I'm going one of the two. Who do you think it should be, Olave or Tet? I'm going Olave.
I go Olave. I'm going to Olave, but it is close.
I'm going to stick with ADP, but that feels really close to me. I think that I probably could see myself taking Tet. All right, you are up. We are up now in ours.
Oh man!
And you got your boy Jefferson. You dog.
What are you guys doing?
You dog. You. All right. Well, here I am making this call.
I mean, and look, this is a great spot, or like to talk it through, because you want to walk away with a receiver, right? But right now, I mean, the big top receiver available is Nabers. So
Nabers, London. So I went ahead and grabbed
or you can put your money where your mouth is, Trey McBride.
I said Achane, or I could. You know what? I could. This is my first one. It's a $3 one. I'm gonna do it. Let's put my money where I'm gonna do a 2 tight build with this team. Mm-hmm. You know something that I think is important and I need to notice here. Let me pull up the board. Yeah, it's what I thought. So normally we draft 18 rounds on Underdog, and 20 rounds is reserved for super flex drafts. But this particular draft, in these earlies, they're 20 rounds. I noticed that. Remember when we were drafting on Super Bowl and we got to round 18 and we thought we were done, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? I've got 2 more picks. So I could still do a third tight end. Like with 20 rounds, you can do a so normally, let me just say this. Normally what I like to build, this is the standard build, is 3-5-7-3. 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. I also am a big fan of doing 2-6-8-2. That's where I've had a lot of success. 2 strong quarterbacks, 2 strong tight ends, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers.
Yeah.
But whenever you're doing a 20 round, you can do a 3-6-8-3. And that's what makes the most sense for me in a 20 round. You could still stick with the 2 and do like a 2. You could do a 2-7-9-2, or you could do a 2-6-9-3. I think those are both very viable options. But your gut call for how you will build most of yours that are 20 rounds, you think it'll be 3-6-8-3?
Okay. For 20 rounds, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
For 18 rounds, you just shave off usually a running back and a receiver off of that.
Cory, I'm up in the other one. Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Jameson Williams, go.
Evans or Jamo?
Evans. I'm going to go Evans. I'm going to go Evans.
Evans.
I'm a Evans.
And that offense,
Evans faithful going to San Fran. It's crazy him not being on the Buccaneers.
I know, it's weird.
It's so hard for me to wrap my mind around Mike Evans not being on the Buccaneers. But
I love it though. I mean, it's good. Yeah. I mean, well, and the thing is too, like target share wise, so Juwan Jennings is basically gone. Brandon Ayuk, not that he was there last year, but he's gone. And Kittle coming back from Achilles. So who knows when he will be back, but also like back to performance. I mean, McCaffery and Evans, like it's their show.
It is their show.
Oh yeah, we never talked about. Look, you see my start. Like I mean, not only Jefferson. But
I saw, my friend. You got your boy Hampton.
We both
passing on him for you.
We both put our money where our mouth is.
We sure did. And now for me, now obviously we have the. Yeah, I know. I didn't think Rashi would fall to me anyway, but for me, with starting round 1-2 with no wide receiver, that's not ideal. So we'll see how I can build this roster out.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, over on my other one, Quinshon Junkins, Cam Scatterbo. My initial is Scatterbo. I don't know his injury.
Yes, I mean they both bad injuries, but Scatterbo's was earlier. So,
all right,
yeah.
Okay, we are up, sir.
We're gonna stack a lack.
Who'd you stack? I missed it.
McConkey with Hampton.
All right.
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McFreaking Daniel.
Mike.
All right. So I feel like I've got a double tap. One is easy. One, I also, just like you, am a hashtag Garrett Wilson sympathizer.
You'll learn that we're Garrett Wilson apologists here. Anybody that tries to say he's not good, I'll fight you.
And then I think I'm just gonna follow ADP and grab
go Jets.
Flower.
You're not gonna double tap Jets? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I'm not gonna double tap Jets.
You're not gonna double tap the New York high flying Jets?
I am not. I'm staying away from double tapping the Jets, my friend.
Okay.
You got your boy McConkey.
Yeah, you know me.
There it is. He just went ahead and did it.
I'm a Brees guy.
Well,
I love
you're
Brees
welcome.
Hall. I love Brees Hall. And honestly, like with Brees, like it's and normally I don't take running back here. I'm a hero RB typically builder, but Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson. It just pains me to see them in that godforsaken offense and franchise. Like Brees Hall, the Chiefs reportedly at the trade deadline last year were in heavy talks and we offered a fourth, and they would not take anything less than a third, and Chiefs backed off. And I was just devastated because Breece Hall as a Chief would have been so sick. In hindsight, it worked out because that would not have saved our season, and we would have traded a third pick for basically nothing. So, but okay, talk me through the Zay Flowers pick. Why?
I said it in the moment. I said I'm just following ADP. He was the next highest on ADP. I could have easily taken Devonta Smith or Jameson Williams there. I feel I'm not there. Whenever we talk about rounds 3 and 4 next time, I'm sure we'll talk about Luther Burden. I am not quite there on believing in him this high. Now, I probably will get there, right? Because I was impressed, but this just seems so high. And honest to God, if I could go back, maybe I would have just taken Mike Evans at the turn there, because I see him going at the end of round 4. But I think I like Mike Evans more than Devonta Smith, Jameson Williams, or maybe even Zay. So,
yeah.
If
Zay,
I could go,
Zay, Zay
I'm going to learn.
Like,
I'm going to learn as we draft these this month. We're going to make mistakes.
Zay has a ceiling, but honestly, like the guy, I think he caught 84 balls or something last year, but 1,200 yards. It's just the thing for him is touchdowns. Granted, Lamar missed a lot of time last year, but still, like it's just touchdowns have been difficult for him. But he's the easy number one. The only thing that could really hurt him at this point, drafting him now, if like you're sending him down boards, is if Baltimore does, like, say they go Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon in the draft at 14, then that is going to hurt Zay Flowers. But yeah, he's a rock solid wide receiver 2. He's just not going to be a wide receiver 1. It just his ceiling is what it is, and it plays. He's not the JSN, of last year or anything like that. Like that's Garrett Wilson at 312 could be. Zay Flowers couldn't be, in my opinion. But that doesn't make it a bad pick. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
Well, we're coming back around to us, so it's time to pick again.
Man, there are some weird names here. Weird names.
This is going to be so interesting getting used to the draft board this year because obviously we're just diving in.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go rookie. I'm going to go Carnell Tate here. Hopefully he lands somewhere good.
So, and right now, as I've mentioned, I'm not drafting rookies yet. Okay. So I'm going to learn them as we talk about them and over the course of this month. And then after the NFL draft, I'm sure I'll dive in and get some of these guys. But I'm going to go ahead and grab Christian Watson first. And then I'm having a real hard time trying to decide here between Brian Thomas or Marvin Harrison. Alec Pierce is so weird that his name is mixed in with these.
Yeah, but he's the number one. I mean, he is the number one in Indiana. He better be. He's making $29 million a year.
I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. I know that's risky. I'm not exactly sure his situation on if he'll be traded or what.
I mean, that's what you're banking on, like with that pick, is that he gets traded. Like there's no other reason to take him. Man, I'm not in love with any of this, but let's just take Marv. I'll live and die, I guess. I'm not in love with it. But in the 6th round, it's just, man.
It's fine. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I don't love it either. I mean, here's the thing: is Michael Wilson just not better? I don't know.
He at least has he had a better connection. So, and that's kind of what matters. It's the same thing as like Brian Thomas is a more talented receiver than Parker Washington, but Parker Washington has the better connection with Trevor Lawrence, and that's what matters.
I mean, it matters big time. I remember 2 years ago, whenever Brian Thomas broke out, it was not with Trevor Lawrence, it was with Mac Jones.
Sure was. And like, I think I kind of dismissed that as it's not that, but it's real. And I mean, even when and I know Brian Thomas was a little banged up last year, to be fair, but when Jacoby Myers came in, it was obvious. Like Lawrence's connection was with Washington and Jacoby Myers, and then that's enough so to where they signed Myers to an extension. He's.
And there goes Parker Washington in the middle of the six.
I'll tell you, I'm going to have so little of Parker Washington, for better or worse. But I'm fine taking the hit on that. No, I could not be more out. Honestly, Quinshon Judkins, I'm kind of surprised his ADP is still where it's at, given the nature of his injury. But he should be fine. But it was a pretty nasty injury.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that as we move along this summer, I'll have to get myself more up on what the current news of injuries are. Like I said, I knew he was hurt or he got hurt, but no clue as to what his current status is.
Can I just say, round 6 is horrible. This is so ugly.
This is a terrible round 6.
Is that not just horrible? I mean, that's not a knock on anyone's picks. These are the ugliest names. Oh my God.
I feel like this is a major dead zone in the draft, but not like a running back dead zone. Just a dead zone
Just an absolute dead zone. I was going to look, where did Jalen Waddle go? Okay, so he's going 410. Interesting. We have a lot of time to talk about him. I have got opinions.
Waddle, we'll see. We'll see if Waddle picks back up. If we'll be picking back up with him in the round 3-4 discussion next time.
This is such a weird ADP. Oh
Michael Wilson here he is. I just mentioned him 7-6 now.
Fannin going at tight end 5.
I believe in Fannin. I'm a Fannin
believer. You're a fan?
I'm a fan of Fannin. I am.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude. He was great last year.
Yep, I am a fan.
Ugh. Boy, QB ADPs are insane right now.
Yeah, we're in round 7. We've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them off the board.
I think I'm about to make a pick that's going to make you mad. Maybe, but in case you were looking for a Jacksonville stat, but Brian Thomas might not be there.
I'm not looking at any.
I think Jacoby Myers. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1. The fact that he's going after Parker Washington is weird to me.
You mentioned Ramondre. I think I'm going to do Ramondre. I like Ramondre.
So does Mike Vrabel.
I took him a lot last year and it paid off.
Yeah, same here.
So, I mean, I kind of feel like I want to just go ahead and jump in and grab Justin Herbert. I'm going to fade.
Yeah, you're going to. No, that's going to kill my stack.
Don't take Herbert?
That's going to kill my stack. Jacksonville stack.
All right. Well,
we're a team.
Normally,
we're a team here.
Normally, I would take her. If this was a $10 draft, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take Dak, and I'll say that the every other year narrative is crap. I could have taken Mahomes. I guess I could have done that, but I mean,
I'll be curious. I'm surprised his ADP is top 100 right now. I mean, I would be on record.
What's his injury status?
Yeah, I mean, they won't tell anybody anything right now. Like Andy Reid even said, they asked if he was ahead of schedule, and he was like, well, who makes the schedule? When people ask that, like, whose schedule? So he did post a video last week of him throwing. Like it was one quick drop back. You could tell obviously it wasn't full force, but like he dropped back and he threw. And people were like, oh my God. I am on record of saying he will be out there week 1. And I would bet money on it. It's going to happen. He'll be out there week 1.
I hope you're right. That's the only reason why I didn't click his name, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what.
And this is coming from the Mahomes guy. I still think that's kind of rich, because everybody think about in 2023 and 24 how he just really disappointed. He just didn't live up to ADP when he was going like round 4, but then he, like last year, he was a huge return. Why? Because he was running. He was running because they didn't have a run game. He was their leading rusher, and he was scoring rushing touchdowns. So he was like the QB2. But that's not going to happen this year. Off a torn ACL, you kidding me?
Yeah. And remember whenever he got hurt doing the QB sneak and then they just completely eliminated that, kind of makes me initially think, like, at least for this first year, will they try to eliminate all scrambles for him?
Yeah, I mean, they rarely call design runs for him. So most of his scrambling is if they just drive, because teams play. We got a cat alert.
I heard him.
Yeah. But usually, like it's not designed runs; it's legitimately just scrambles. Like when he's out there playing backyard, or when the defense because no one faced lighter boxes in the NFL than Patrick Mahomes, because teams knew that we weren't going to run the ball, and if we did, it was Kareem Hunt, so no one was scared. So when they drop everyone back into coverage, Mahomes just takes what the defense is going to give him every time when they play that too high shell. So, but this year, that's what Ken Walker is there now. So yeah, they're never designed runs. They haven't called a QB sneak with him since 2019. And so that's obviously not happening, but who is there for designed runs now? Justin Fields.
I was going to say Ken Walker.
Nope, Justin Fields, and we can do QB sneaks with him and like design QB runs.
And
don't draft him.
Plays if Mahomes doesn't start? Who knows?
Paul Sewald, another save. It's back to back.
Ooh, back to back for Paul's
Ewald.
So
Blake Corum is a top 100 pick. That is bonkers. But he could, but there were times where he looked better than Kyron, but Kyron's getting paid. So, and McVay trusts him. You and I were both late Stafford drafters last year.
Oh yeah, big time. Oh yeah, I generally love to push quarterbacks. So looking at this board quarterbacks, I don't know if that can happen this year much, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But generally, I like to wait on my quarterbacks. Okay, we're up.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah, Wandale. I mean, he's the wide receiver one there.
Yeah, gosh dang it! I was about to click his name too.
Sorry, I know you're a Wandale guy.
I'm not. I don't know what to think of Xavier Worthy.
We have an actual wide receiver coach, like as the wide receiver coach this year, and Worthy was hurt from week one. Like I'm big on the bounce back.
So I went ahead and just grabbed Stafford because I didn't want to wait and have crap quarterbacks. Because I have no idea what's going to happen with quarterback. So Worthy or Kenneth Gainwell. I'm kind of leaning.
I kind of like Gainwell right there.
Yeah, I'm leaning Gainwell. So there we go.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do then. Bring him home. Yeah, it's just Gainwell Bucky is just he was banged up as much as he was last year, and that was the fear going into the year of like he was great his rookie year, but he's a smaller guy and not really built for that 3-down workload. So, I mean, and Gainwell got real money. I mean, like he's gonna be a guy. So by looking at Bucky, it's just Bucky's such a fun player. But like, if you're going to spend a third round draft capital on him or something, or third or fourth round, that's fine. It's just you have to temper expectations. And honestly, it's the same situation as the old situation of like, I'd rather have Gainwell at cost than I would Bucky.
Oh, 100%. So let's look at what our builds are right now. So we are halfway through. We have made 10 picks, Core, and you have a 1, 2, 7, 0.
Yeah.
You are heavy wide receiver.
I
am much more balanced. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Yeah. I mean, I love my receivers too. Like if Carnell Tate is going to be, so he's the top receiving prospect in the draft this year out of Ohio State. If you look at his like actual numbers and that's it, which I know you're not going to, you're going to go a lot deeper than that. It's underwhelming because he's playing alongside the best wide receiver in the nation. And he's probably the best wide receiver prospect that we've seen since who knows when. I mean, even probably bigger than like what Marv was a few years ago. And
you're talking about Carnell Tate, the guy that you took
Carnell Tate. Yeah, Carnell Tate.
Okay.
So Carnell Tate's going to be a top 10 pick. He's pretty, like, again, college production wasn't there because of situation, but he was but he's the top prospect, and plus Ohio State, that's all I do is churn out great wide receivers. So he's going to be a top 10 pick. His whole thing is just, it depends on what his landing spot is. But if it ends up being, I mean, it could be like, my guess is Cleveland, maybe. I'd say, I mean, there's a chance Giants. I'd say Titans, yeah. I mean, he would be a good compliment if they want to just build so. Could be 4 too. Okay, real quick, it's me. Oh man, I mean, you know what the hell's about to happen here too. Gosh, and there's actually, I love the receivers here.
Okay, well, help me take one. Khalil Shakir or Jalen McMillan? Because actually, I'm taking one of those two, I would think.
I was going to say Juwan Jennings just hasn't signed anywhere yet. That's the only problem with him. Otherwise I'd say him.
Rashid Shaheed just signed a big contract.
Yeah. I'd like.
Oh, well, Jennings it is.
There you go.
I had him start, and that 20 seconds goes real quick.
Yeah. Shakir, he's just not going to get the same volume because DJ Moore's there now.
Aaron Jones, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
I'd actually say Jalen McMillan. If you were going to go receiver. None, but Aaron Jones over Bill.
All right,
sure.
I just stick with McMillan then.
Yeah.
Because that, I mean, I feel good with my wide receivers. I'm gonna have to load up at some running back options. Again, it's so weird to me drafting like this right now, where I still have so much uncertainty with knowing players' roles on teams, and I'm not used to this. I'm used to knowing who's on where. Sure. And actually having a feel for the board, but I really like it. I love that we're jumping in and doing these early. I see you just went with Cam Ward. That's interesting.
I guess you needed,
right? Oh my gosh! See, I didn't even click Wandale Titans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Wandale, he got the bag, and it was Dable. So Brian Dable, who was the Giants coach who drafted him and everything, Brian Dable's the OC in Tennessee now. So Dable has had pretty good success with quarterbacks. I know Daniel Jones in his first year with him was great. He won Coach of the Year. And then after that, not so much. And then Jaxson Dart looked pretty good too. So, and then obviously Josh Allen's he's credited a lot with Josh Allen. That's what got him the job. So maybe, you're with Dable. He's got, and it actually could end up being an accidental stack if Carnell Tate goes to Tennessee. So then I've got all that. So yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, and I'm Stroud. No thanks. Absolutely not. Mendoza is kind of interesting there, but yeah.
Yeah, he went 2 picks after you took Ward.
Yeah, I think Cam Ward in year 2. I'm for it. I like it.
See, initially, this is, again, just my initial thoughts. I'm a Bryce Young guy. You know how much I like Bryce Young. And I think that I would take Bryce Young over Cam Ward or Mendoza based off of just my initial gut feeling. Obviously, it's not going, but there goes Bryce in round 13. So what are we looking at as far as quarterbacks that are even left? Who's left? Jacoby. Let's see. I do have Trey McBride, so I could do that as a third.
I have
Tua,
Marv, so I might be looking that way. Gino,
Gino.
Gino with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
And you
Gino
could
with Garrett Wilson.
and you could
Yeah.
grab Adonai Mitchell and just go straight all
Is Tank Dell coming back?
Jets.
Is Tank Dell coming back? Tank Dell or
Uh,
Tesla?
Tesla.
Tesla. Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tank Dell's deal is right now.
Yeah.
All right, who'd you just pick?
I did take Brissett.
Okay, so
but Gino makes sense for if you wanted to pair him with, and like, cause he ain't gonna lose the job. I mean, Jets are tanking. So,
is Jonathan Brooks going to be back?
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
I think that's going to be my first one, because I am behind at running back, and I'm going to push tight end even further. So really, the question is, do I want to take this third QB here? You know what? For this initial $3 build, I don't think I'm going to. Keaton Mitchell, Tyrone Tracy, Keaton Mitchell it is.
Yeah, I'm glad you did it, so I didn't have to. Actually, you know what? James Conner.
I did see that the Cardinals brought him back, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the Cardinals,
but he was hurt. He was also hurt, so I don't. What's his deal?
Yeah, I mean, his injury was a season ender, but it wasn't a. I mean, he'll be the RB1. They did bring in Tyler Algier. They still have Trey Benson, and they signed. Oh shoot, who was it? Dang it, who was it? Because it's weird. Like they're just signing running backs like crazy. They brought back Bam Knight. That's right. So yeah, I mean they brought back.
Bam.
Yeah, they brought back Bam. Bam. They brought back Bam Knight, and like there's going to be. I don't know if they're going to take all of those into training camp, or if they're going to. The obvious thing would be like get something. You know, if they can get a day 3 pick for Trey Benson, why not? Somebody would pay that.
Here's something I didn't know. I'm looking at my other draft, Cory, and I'm looking at taking a running back here in round 16. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that Brian Robinson was on the Falcons.
Yeah, that was a joke that was made. It's like
he just went the pick before me.
No, there's going to be a lot of people taking. Oh, I'm going to take B Robinson. You know, Bijan, and there's 2 B Robinsons now. And so, or whenever you're like a running back,
that's funny. Yeah, that's right, because they're both on the same team.
Yep. And then, but whenever a Robinson runs in and scores a touchdown, you're going to be, because it's going to be Robinson for Bijan, then Robinson Jr. for Brian Robinson. So you're going to be like looking for the nameplate. Is that a junior or no?
Oh, you know how many times people are going to be so mad on Sundays when Brian Robinson scores instead of Bijan?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I didn't know that Chigakonkwo signed with Washington. That's when I missed altogether.
Yep.
I see that here, and Chig's going above. Okay, I know that TJ Hawkinson was a huge disappointment, and we've already talked about how limited mouths to feed with Kyler.
Yep.
But gosh dang, TJ Hawkinson in round 15 beneath Chig and Henry and Jawan and AJ Barner feels like a steal.
Yeah, it is. That's because it is.
And then there's Mason Taylor. And I mean, again, if Gino can do anything, I was very impressed with Mason Taylor last year and his little bit. Jason Taylor's son. All right, you're up.
Yeah, I know. We'll go Dalton Schultz here. Get another tight end going.
And I need to tight end it up as well, but I don't know who to pick. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to tight end it up. I'm going to take who we just talked. Okay, before I take Brian Robinson, Sean Tucker or Tajay Spears. It doesn't matter. Brian Robinson is the first one. I'm going to dip back into wide receiver here. Tesla, Trey Harris, Darnell Mooney.
I like Harris over those guys. He flashed and could be the wide receiver too.
Yeah, he did well at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And take a couple Chargers pieces from you.
Yeah. Let's
Big
see
Chargers
here.
guy over here.
Huge Charger. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Tyjae Spears, actually. Let's see what happens.
So
it's so funny seeing Kamara all the way down there.
And you took Ward, so a little Tennessee thing isn't bad, and you've got Wandale, like you said. So now you've got a little trio. Since they don't have Jig, is it Gunnar Heim? Who's the tight end there?
They brought over. They signed Daniel Bellinger, but he's an inline blocker tight end. So I mean, Gunnar Helm is going to have
Gunnar Helm, not
the first crack at it. He should have.
Yeah, I'm looking right now on my other draft. In my other draft, he's already gone, and we're in round 18.
Yeah, I mean, if he's here on the wraparound, he'll probably be, because of the whole Tennessee thing, like he'll probably be my third tight end.
Looks like he went at 193 in my other draft. And is that where we're at? Yeah, that's right where we're at.
Yep,
so we'll see.
Where we're at. Yep. Yeah.
Well, whenever I push tight end, I saw Colby Parkinson's name there and thought, oh, he looks far enough down that he might make it. Well, now I know he's not going to make it.
Yeah.
Because that was initially my thought.
They brought back Higbee, didn't they? And then they have Terrence Ferguson, who they drafted last year.
Yeah, but I mean, Colby Parkinson's the one that could break. Now, here's a question for you. What do we have any idea about Kittle's injury? Because I'm looking over my other one. Jake Tonges is there. I could do that.
He ruptured as a kid. Like, from everything that I see and read, like they're expecting him to be. They're not going to commit to anything. No one's going to commit to any timelines right now or anything. I would be prepared to, like, for him to not start the season. But again, if he heals up, but Achilles isn't an easy injury, and he did it in the playoffs. So it was in January. I as of right now, I would draft him conservatively and expect him to miss the first month. I'm not saying that he's going to. I think just in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to draft him, could be huge late value, but you need to insulate yourself. You're definitely not taking him in a 2 tight end build.
Do you think that, I was going to say though, do you think Tonjes is a decent enough pick?
Yeah. I mean, you never know if he's a great value if Kittle doesn't play or doesn't come back.
I will, because I was pretty darn impressed with him last year whenever Kittle was hurt. He had multiple good games that I watched.
Are we stuck on this guy or something right now?
Well, I'm on, I guess so, because there it is. Kamara. Okay, your pick.
Yeah. Wolf. So pushing running back is proving to be kind of tough.
Trey Benson.
You know what? Why not? I'm just going to go Gunnar Helm just because as my third.
Okay. So I only have one. I mean, I feel like Kate Otten is just the best choice, period. By the way, real quick, over my other draft, is Shadir Sanders going to be a thing again or no? Like, is he worth taking as a 3?
Yeah, he's going to be a starter as of right now. I mean, hold on real quick. I'm going to make my pick. Oh, shit. I just had somebody. You know what? I am going to take. Oh, no. Too late. I think did I miss it? Or is it you?
It's me.
Oh, I thought.
There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and take another tight end here.
Terry.
So I waited. Yeah, Kate Otten and Ferguson. Hopefully it's good enough with having, McBride. McBride should be the only one that matters.
Yeah.
And you did go Benson, which I know with them bringing in, we talked about this, them bringing in Tyler Algier, and then also re-signing James Conner. But it makes sense for you. You have Conner. If only you had Algier, that would have been nice. Let's see. Where did he go? He went at pick 91. So it's the round that you could have taken him. No, you would have had to taken him where you took Jacoby Myers. Yeah, now, knowing what your team is, looking at your roster, if you could redo that pick, would you?
No.
Nope. Okay.
For Algier.
Yeah. Would you take Algier instead of Jacoby?
There's too many. It's such a crapshoot, and a top 100 pick on algebra, I just can't do it. If James Conner wasn't there, I'd feel better about it because, but I don't know. Yeah. It's not. I'm not saying like I know Conner injury risk. He's old and whatever, but I don't know. I'm kind of staying away from that.
I get it. Well, we're coming back around here for our last two picks, so let's review what our builds are. So you have the classic 3-5-7-3, which if we were done right now, that would be that. And my round 18 is 2-6-7-3, which again, if we were just doing 18 rounds, I would feel completely good and comfortable with that build. My two quarterbacks being Dak and Stafford, I feel good enough with those veterans to know. And right now, of course, I know everyone who would be watching knows, but just in case anyone who doesn't know, hold on, before I say what I'm about to say, Tez Johnson, I think that's a good last round pick, right? Him or Jalen Noel?
Noel.
Tez, too bad, too late. I went Tez.
Yeah, either one. I think it's pretty.
I thought Tez was all right last year in his little bit of time.
There's just a lot of
mouths to feed there, yeah, for sure. And anyway, gosh dang it! Now I forgot the question I was about to ask you. Son of a. That last pick threw it. Dang it! I'm going to go back and watch to this part and be like, oh, of course, I was about to say that. I was talking about our builds right before this.
Let's see.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I lost it.
All right, I got 2 picks left, and I'm kind of torn. There's a couple guys who I really like right here, but one of them I know who I'm going to pick for sure. I guess I think I mean, I definitely need. I'm kind of torn. I know what I'm going to do.
So
I got it.
So I'm going to take. I believe I don't have to take a third QB, but I always feel more comfortable with taking one as a just in case. And
oh man,
Shedeur is here again on this one. I mean, I don't like Shedeur Sanders. It's just if you're going to start at the end of these drafts. Oh gosh, I know what one of my picks is going to be. All right, Core. Eric Elik Iomanner. That's interesting. That could have worked out for you, yeah. Is that where you were Omanning about?
No, actually, it was Jaden Blue.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, because you're looking at running back. So you got DeMercado.
I'm gonna have a lot of DeMercado.
So
DeMercado.
I didn't know he's a Chief. Yeah. See, I didn't know he was a Chief now. That's one that completely eluded me.
Yep.
So I have a 2-6-8-3 Mac Jones, Kirk Cousins. I guess Kirk Cousins.
2 backups, yeah. Like because Cousins is rumored to maybe be like McVay brought him up in a press conference.
Well, if he is, that'd be perfect since I have Stafford. That way he's the Matt Stafford insurance just in case something does rear its ugly head.
Mm-hmm.
And and Tyquan Thornton coming home.
Why not, baby? Yeah, I mean he was great last year until when Rice came back, and then they just stopped throwing his way. But people say like that Worthies are deep threat field stretcher. It's Tyquan Thornton. He ran 4.2 as well, and he's the better like deep wide receiver. He's better at the deep ball than Worthy is. Like as far as like actually getting separation and catching it.
And then took Worthy on this team. So
yep. So DeMercado, the thing with him is why I'm going to probably end up with a stupid amount of him because I'm dumb, but they brought him in for a reason. He's good. This is again what I meant when I mentioned Ken. Okay, don't meow, bro. But this is why I mentioned that Ken Walker is going to be frustrating for people at times because he's not going to be a 3-down back. And the Chiefs fans that are kind of detractors of the signing and the money is because he's typically not going to be deployed as a 3-down back for whether it's pass pro or whatever. That's DeMercado's specialty. So as soon as they signed him, that was immediate like, okay, so Ken Walker is going to not play. He's not the 3rd-down back. DeMercado is.
Hey,
pass pro, he catches the ball. He's, he breakaway speed potentially. As long as he doesn't fumble before the goal line, then
no, gosh, or just drop the ball. That's what it was, wasn't it? He just dropped it.
He dropped it. Right, he didn't fumble. Yeah, he dropped it.
He pulled. I always think of Deshaun Jackson.
Me too, Deshaun Jackson. Every time.
That's what I always think of. All right, well, let's take a look at what we just did here. So I went with a 3-6-8-3. Where I pushed up tight end, and then I tried to do a balance build where I also didn't take a wide receiver in round 1 and 2 because I went Achane and McBride. So by pushing quarterback, I did 2 mid-levels. I see I got them right around their ADPs, although it was a little past. I feel very confident with Dak and Stafford, although maybe I'd like it if it was Justin Herbert a little more.
Yeah.
It's all right. This is the first team. It's fun. This is for fun.
If Kirk goes to the Rams, you've insulated yourself there. However, the only thing there is like upside is neither one of them offer any rushing upside at all. So that's the only critique that I would have of
there's no rushing upside from my quarterbacks.
None. Yeah.
Last year Matt Stafford proved though you can have totally fine winning teams without having a rushing quarterback.
All you got to do is throw 40 touchdowns. That's
like you said. And then my running backs, it's a room that I don't have any grasp and feel on as to the quality. I'm going to say I like it fine because I love Achane and Ramondre. I'm a fan of. I like getting him at 84. I took Ramondre a lot last year. I definitely am a fan of Ken Gainwell, but I don't know about having to draft him at 109 on how good I feel about that. And then Jonathan Brooks coming back from injury, Keaton Mitchell, who I like, but's a backup, Brian Robinson, who knows, but I got 6 of them.
I say my favorite running back outside of Achane, obviously my favorite pick in your running back room is Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. It makes me feel good because I do think that Achane and Gainwell can carry me on a lot of weeks where you only need 2. There will, though, obviously Gainwell won't do good every week, but he can have those monster games because of receptions.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks is. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, for him, just as a person, like I hope that he's healthy because he's had such a raw deal these last couple of years. And Chuba Hubbard is not like as safe as we thought he was this time last year.
Yep. And Rico's
like
gone,
as far as job security. Right. Yeah, Rico went to the Steelers.
I was about to ask. I saw he signed. It was the Steelers.
Yeah,
okay.
Steelers.
All right. So what do you think of my wide receiver room? Garrett Wilson, Zay, Christian Watson, Thomas, Jennings, Jalen McMillan, Trey Harris, and Cooper Kupp.
I like it. If Christian Watson can repeat, I mean, Dubs is gone. So Chris and Matthew Golden didn't do anything to make you excited last year. Granted, he was a rookie. That's fair. But Christian Watson seemed to be the go-to guy. I think ADP 60 is high for me, or ADP 58 picks it like that's. I'm fine especially as your wide receiver 3. I'm not in love with that ADP, but we'll see. But Brian Thomas, if he gets traded somewhere that's actually going to use him, and he's in a good situation, he could smash that ADP.
Yeah, that could be the game-changing pick for this team is if Brian Thomas moves up to the Garrett Wilson quality. Now, all of a sudden, Zay Flowers and Watson are a luxury. Then that's where this team could truly.
I was thinking before they traded for DJ Moore that Buffalo. I was like, man, Buffalo should trade for Brian Thomas Jr. yesterday, but then they traded for DJ Moore. But the Chiefs is actually a team that I think could be a player because Brett Veach, our GM, loves for failed first round picks so if he liked him in the draft process, he'd trade for him. And I wouldn't be shocked if he does it. So then that's one less position we need to draft anyway. And then your receiver.
My tight end groom is fine because of McBride.
Trey McBride. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then your team. So you went with a 3-6-8-3. We both went with 3-6-8-3s, but we approached it in much different ways because you went heavy running back at the top with
Isn't
Omarion
it kind of
and Brees.
freeing drafting without buys right now? Isn't it just?
That's what I was going to say. Thank you. Earlier, when I was about to say the fact that if anyone doesn't know that we won't get buys until
May. It's May.
Second
the schedule,
or third.
Yeah. The schedule, yeah. Schedule will be released, but no buys. It's so freeing.
It's fun drafting without looking at buys because it will affect so much. It'll affect ADPs, draft boards, the way you pair, all this stuff moving forward. Okay, but you waited at running back, and then you go ahead.
I love it, actually. I love my running back room. I mean, Hampton, and if he was the guy, I know Breece Hall ceiling is limited. But I think he should get enough work to be for floor. James Conner, obviously, I waited a very long time. So I had 130 picks in between running back picks for me. So it's a modified hero RB build, but then just kind of dart throws after that. It's fine. For this strategy, I'm fine with that room. It's not the best room you'll ever see, but I'm comfortable with it.
But you have good wide receivers because of it. So look at these wide receivers where you used 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them before pick 110.
Yeah.
This perfectly shows why how wide receivers are pushed up here on Underdog. And I love what you did, of course. I mean, you got the fall with Jefferson. That's a 1-pick fall, but it still. And then from there, not surprised you went with Ladd. I know you've talked to me. I know you like Ladd. He was definitely a disappointment last year.
And I didn't draft. I had so few shares of it. My exposure was so small. Because I didn't buy the second round, his second round ADP. I just wasn't on that. And then when they signed Keenan Allen, I was like, thank God. Because when people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters. But yeah, I think that McConkey, with again the Mike McDaniel thing, I hate to keep saying that, but in the Mike McDaniel offense, I just think that it could be really good. And then Carnell Tate, he has, for this pick to be good, he has to go to the right spot. But in my opinion, 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5 of my first 6 receivers taken should be the wide receiver 1 on their team. As of right now, Marvin Harrison is the one that's not, which is so sad. So sad.
Well, all right. And then your tight ends. Yeah, your tight ends. That's obviously you waited. You got Killatrav. This is a total Cory tight end room where you just wait. You hope that it gets you by. Maybe Gunnar Helm is the breakout.
Yep.
And then you of course we didn't touch on your quarterbacks, but you've got 3 starting quarterbacks. That's important. It's hard to get 3 starters. You got 3 starters, assuming that Jacoby holds it. I'm sure that he will. And yeah, that's it. I think that these are really good first teams after our first initial talks and run through of the football draft board this year, 2026. Well, Cor, buddy,
we did it. Just
Episode
a shade
1.
under 3 hours.
Just a shade under 3 hours. So next time we'll try to be a little bit quicker with talking about the players. But next time we'll be going through rounds 3 and 4.
People are still watching, so I've been keeping an eye on that.
Oh, well, nice. Well, any of you guys that have been in here watching, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to do this a couple times a week, so we'll be back this weekend. Cory, I don't think we know for sure yet if it's Friday or Saturday. We're going to be back Friday or Saturday. We'll get that straightened out. If you follow me over on Twitter, it's at TheRealDeal136. Cory is, you can follow his personal, it's at Optimus Ginger. But if you want to follow Cory's true Twitter account, it's
the at the Chiefs Pod, but also
Pod.
More importantly, follow on Instagram. I actually got it up and running not that long, but today I actually like really got it up and running. But on Instagram, it's at Best Ball Draft Addict. So
Yep, and I
same as the
appreciate
show.
that because I'm not an Instagram guy. Cory has told me that we could get some traction on there and so he's kind of taking the lead with that. More power, let's do it. And yeah, man, I'm excited. This was super fun. I had a great discussion, and we will do this again real soon.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else that you want to say before we head out?
No, just looking forward. March 31st, tomorrow, April Fools.
April Fools.
Don't trust anyone tomorrow. Anything they say, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
That's my PSA.
And it starts 11 minutes from now here in the Central Time Zone.
So be ready.
So be ready.
Yep. You know what? We should have done this on April Fool, and then like at the end be like, just kidding. We actually don't agree with any of this.
Actually, we've never even looked at anything football.
Yeah, this is trash. This is all. I literally chat GPT'd this.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Cory, till next time, keep drafting. See y'all.
See you guys.